Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 4 of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. It's the Southwick MX Simulator National live here on Start Your Systems, and we're so excited to bring you guys the action here tonight from Southwick, Massachusetts. The deep sandy soil here. Another sand race this week after we did Assen on Monday night, the Grand Prix scene there, but now back to the national schedule, round 4 of 12 here. And in Southwick tonight, again, very excited to bring the action, and this hot lap that we're going to show you right now is brought to you, of course, by atom.com, as Adam Holmes shows you the fast line around the racetrack. Very similar setup to Southwick every single year. The only difference is if the track changes direction, but it hasn't changed direction in a long time, so we're going right out of the first turn through the Studio 8 hole shot award, down past where the old finish line jump used to be, dropping down the backside of this hill, and then this launch single. You're going to see some guys trying to quad up the hill as it gets a little bit deeper later on in the motos. Up the inside, home tucking tight to this long left-hand sweeper, drops you back down again, just carrying momentum all the way down the hill if possible. Swoop around at the bottom of the hill, turn around and come back up to this left-hander, drop you down and catch a little bit of air. Just try to scrub as low as you can off of that jump down into this back section. Little left hand, turn into a right-hand sweeper over a rise, so you're going to lose contact at the ground. You're going to try to stay planted and get down into that rut, then carry some speed up into this little floater table. Again, a long right-handed sweeper all the way through this section. That rut's going to get deep on the outside. You're going to see guys carrying a lot of speed down into this bottom section. Some guys will like to go inside, some outside to keep the speed up. Launch as far out up this hill as possible to get the drive to then do this table. And again, just carrying speed. It's trying to stay light on a track like this. The sand surface is going to try to hold you back in every section possible. So home at the bottom of the hill here, going to turn and go left at the top here, the Buckley berm. Lay it over, and then this very tricky sweeping right-hand corner with some rollers into it, and then it just continues to go right over this little single jump. Try to check up and not go too far on this one so you land and get the power up this little rise to a left-hand 180-degree corner, then dropping down into this little gully. James Stewart famously blew a motor up through that section, I think back in 2006 or so. And dropping back down through here, a long left-hand sweeper. A lot of sweepers on this track, but that's usually pretty typical of a sand track, and Southwick is no different. All the way down to this far corner before the finish line jump. Carrying speed back up the hill, this tabletop takes you into the final corner of the racetrack here. Lay it over to the right before the finish line jump. Still carrying speed and up and over that RaceFactoryGaming.com finish line jump. Another downhill left-handed sweeper, little roller single, carries you through the rest of the sweeper, then back up into the turn 1 complex where you'll turn right and rejoin where the starting line joined to complete a lap here at Southwick. Well, again, so glad that you guys could join us here tonight for round 4 of the championship. Of course, Kellen Brower here in the booth bringing you guys the action. We were hoping to have Andrew Wood here tonight, but unfortunately, he is not going to be able to join us. We're looking forward to having him back maybe at the next round or the rounds after that, but we're actually having a break coming up in the schedule after this one, so there is going to be no racing next week in the GPs or the national scene as we head into Redbud, and then as you guys see at the bottom of the screen, MXS Italian Grand Prix on July 5th, and then back for the Redbud National on July 7th. We'll get into that a little bit later tonight, but let's talk about these qualifying times and our current standings as we look into the screen here and take a look at what's going on. First of which, schedule here, obviously we're at Southwick, so we're going to jump in there and take a look at some stuff real quick. But standings-wise, Payson Johnson on 144 points is your championship leader in this 250 class by 22 points over Nathan Prynne. Cooper Hunt also in the mix, and Hunt just won a Grand Prix earlier this week in the Netherlands, so he's looking to rebound and maybe get back up on the box here as well in the national scene. In the 450 class, Lang 16 points down of Leclerc, and Eaglen still right in the mix as well, just 21 points off of Leclerc and only 5 points behind Lang. So the 450 class staying very close through 3 rounds so far. Tonight in qualifying, though, Braden Carter has gone fastest at a 2:04.7, Lang 2:04.9, Hull, Magnetti, and then Leclerc kind of peculiarly down there in 5th. Don't normally see him a little bit farther down in the qualifying times, but the Frenchman Nathan Prynne does go fastest again here tonight at a 2:07.9 in the 250 class. Payson Johnson, Alec Horn, Cooper Hunt, and Luke Sullivan. And keep an eye on these times right here because you see Johnson and Prynne both, in the... I'm not sure what I just did right there. There we go. Just broke. There we go. So Johnson and Prynne both in the 2:07, 2:08 range, and then all the way down to 2:11 for Alec Horn. So that's pretty interesting to see how fast those guys are going, and they may create some great racing for us here tonight as we get back in the server. Good to see everybody here hanging out in chat tonight. As always, appreciate everybody that stops by, watches these streams every week. Hopefully you guys are having a good night wherever you are. Who else we got in here? We have got Aqualeaf, we got Ramon, Brendan Kennedy, Vitor Santos, Garrett Nowicki, Vino Chand, Garrett Crows, JGMX369, Camo, Eric Thompson, Griffin Cumbridge, and First Turn Films, The Dude, KR Money, also hanging out back in the chat again. Good to have you guys here. What's going on tonight? How's everybody doing? And who do you guys think is going to come away from tonight's action a race winner? Who are you cheering for? Maybe you got a guy that we can check in on a couple times throughout the race if he's a little bit further down the field and we're not always paying attention. Try to find out who's down the order there. Got Layden McCrae, Aiden Achenbach, Michael Blau, DeBiz 128, Bear Gaming up in here. Got Trav 3510, Max Millum, everybody having a good time. Tina Shonek. Everybody hanging out, having a good time, ready to watch some Southwick. Love this track. Always felt like I did pretty well at this track, and it's going to be funny to have A-Wood here tonight as well, because A-Wood is kind of known as, I'm known as the Budds Creek guy because the only moto I ever won in my life in this game was at Budds Creek. But A-Wood actually won an overall at Southwick in 2013, and was kind of known as like a sand guy for a little while after that, but never did quite get up there and win an event again. But he did win a moto. I think he went 1-3 that day, if I remember correctly. So we're missing him here tonight, but he had to step aside for some family stuff. Hopefully his uncle's feeling better. All right, finally loaded back in as 250 moto number 1 is about to be coming up. And let's make sure I get the moto name on this one correctly, because I blew it at Assen earlier this week. So that is now correct. And these guys out here doing a parade lap. I figured we wouldn't have a consi. We only had like 43 guys, so I'm not sure if they're doing a expanded gate or not. You can see everybody out here putting in a little bit of a hot lap here. Who's winning the hot lap? Uh-oh, it's Casey Cochran. Not a good sign. And hey, I got the BPC skins, so Chase Blakely and Luke Magnetti are not going to chop my head off anymore. I really appreciate that. Adrian Wilson, Brandon Nygren out here, Jack Gatland. Let's do this view. It's a little easier to see everybody. Lane Wofford, Seth Carr, Brandon Wolf, Johan Bordeaux, Logan Leitzel, Luke Sullivan, Phil Bull, Joe Wagner, Jack Fowler, Trevin Thompson, Thomas Wilcox, Alex Kerr, Hayden Stevenson, Alec Horn, there's Cooper Hunt, Tristan Powell, Jake Melton, Dylan Cavacuti. And we are ready and set to go. Let's get this moto timer correct as well, as we load in for 250 moto number 1 here at Southwick. Boom. Got that. Hopefully that works good. Let's see who we're going to pick on the gate here. I got to try to get a little further up the gate, not be down in P20. Somewhere in here, Frank Jackson. Who's going to get the all-important hole shot? Johnson just to the inside of the box, and we are racing at Southwick. Not a good start for Johnson at all. It's a great start instead for his counterpart in the championship. Nathan Prin in and out of the first corner of the Studio 8 Hole Shot Award for the Frenchman on the Phil's KTM. Number 42 leads the way. Seth Carr, another good start, is laying it down. Everybody laying it down on that scrub single coming down the hill as everybody funnels in and down out of, that was 5th or 6th place. That might have been Thomas Sunis. I'll have to check in though. I see Brandon Nygren going down the order. I think he's off the track on the inside. Seth Carr right in the mix there behind Prin, and Johnson was right up with these guys, but I don't see him in the picture right now, so we'll see if he's able to skirt through the damage at the beginning of the race here and still end up inside of the top 3 or 4. It looks like he might be in 4th. So it's Prin from Carr, Chris Post, and no, excuse me, it's actually Brandon Wolf. So we've lost Payson Johnson in the early runnings. Brandon Wolf with a good start. Post down on the outside. That's going to allow Seth Harnischweger, Dylan Cavacuti, Johan Bordeaux, Logan Leitzel, Casey Cochran, Thomas Wilcox, Frank Jackson, Cooper Hunt down the inside, Noah McLaughlin, everybody going by. They also have Sean Klein there on the 10. He's got a decent start this time. Joe Wagner, Alex Griffiths. I still don't see Payson Johnson, Lane Wofford, Nate Brow. We got Alex Kerr, Chris Post. Thomas Sunis was the rider that went down. It looks like Tristan Powell, Adrian Wilson, Jack Gatlin, Dylan Adams, Jeremy Siebold's got a bad start. Braden Tharp's back here, and Siebold just went down. Got collected with a couple guys. Seth Shirley. And finally coming through, Payson Johnson in 28th. So he was in 4th coming through the first couple of corners. Must have went down. We just saw it off the screen. That is a tough go for your defending champion. So it's Prin leading them through the back half of the track here, coming down to the finish line to complete lap number 1. And he's opened up a slight lead now on Seth Carr. And he is going to try to take off with this race, try to win it handily if possible, and chunk away a few more points into Payson Johnson's lead. Of course, Johnson has a 22-point lead in the championship entering, and in the Grand Prix scene, he had a 25-point lead entering Assen earlier this week, and he did not retain the points lead after that round. Things went very, very badly in the second moto for Johnson after a 4th in the first one, and Cooper Hunt went 1-1 on the day for the first time in his career to steal the points lead away there. Now Nathan Prin trying to do a similar thing here, but Johnson might be a little bit better getting through the field early on. We'll have to see how it plays out. Johan Bordeaux, though, on this motorsport.com 394, good start for him. He is up into the 3 spot. Around Brandon Wolf, Dylan Cavacuti on the 94 Underground RC Cow. He's going down the inside. See if this works out. He's going to go to the outside here, try to carry a little bit more speed. Much more critical on these 250s than it is on the 450s to carry momentum at all costs. And Cavacuti trying to get down the inside, still not able to get a nose in there just yet to make a pass. And Casey Cochran on the 90 BPC Yamaha is sneaking up into the background. Look at this outside line for Cavacuti, and that is going to be enough to make that pass happen around Brandon Wolf. So Wolf a little out of sorts coming out of that corner. Look at Cochran launching out, almost gets to the 4th roller off the top there, but actually loses a little bit of ground to the riders behind him. Frank Jackson, Cooper Hunt also coming into the mix. Another patented 10th place-ish start for Cooper Hunt, and I'd imagine it's not going to be too long until he works his way forward and finds himself potentially running inside of the top 5 here as he's working on Frank Jackson. Casey Cochran just off the front of this group. Outside to in here for Hunt. Down the backside of this roller, and Cochran up the inside of Wolf. No, Hunt down. Cooper Hunt is down. So the rider 3rd in the championship entering is in a tough spot here. And here comes his teammate Payson Johnson. So the two are going to need to work together to get through the field. Thank you, Lane Thibodeau, for the follow. I'm sorry, for the subscribe, I should say. Might as well just put that on the screen, but I don't want to turn into a thing where it plays too often, but I don't know how to turn that stupid alert sound off when it's not on the screen. All right, so creeping up on 5 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2 lap 250 moto number 1 at Southwick. Wilcox onto the back of Casey Cochran. So Cochran must have gone down right after Hunt did, or at least lose a few spots with a slide out, because Frank Jackson, Sean Klein both ahead of him. They were not when we slipped away there. Thank you, Chatone, for the sub as well. Guess I could just delete the alert box or do something like that. Not sure why it still plays that sound when I don't actually have it checked to be on screen. Back out front, though, Nathan Prin opening up a sizable margin already. Seth Carr doesn't look like he has gone down. If he has, it was maybe just a tip over, but he's already... Oh, there's another little mistake, actually, as he kind of blows the rut at the bottom of the hill. So 11.5 seconds down, a 2:15.7 versus a 2:11.1 out of Prin. Yeah, I would mute it in Streamlabs, but it's not its own source. It just plays within my sources. I guess. Yeah, I don't want to. I'll worry about that later. I try my best on these streams to not make it too annoying for anybody that's actually just watching and not actively like subscribing or anything like that and getting involved with it to watch it. I know for the racers' sake, like they have been subscribed for a long time most likely, so they don't really care too much about the sub notifications or anything like that. I do that on my own time when I'm streaming on Twitch or whatever, but try to make it not too overbearing. Thank you, Tyler Blackburn, though, for the sub. And Grady Crumpton. I'm just going to try to mute this. See if I can get this quickly here. I don't know how to mute it, though. Just do that. All right. Back to the racing action. Forget about all that crap. All right, let's get an early check here where everything is at. So it's Nathan Prynne out front and leading ahead of Seth Carr. Johan Bordeaux. This is a good ride for 394motorsport.com effort. Comfortably in third over Dylan Cavacuti. In fourth, Frank Jackson comes through in fifth. Sean Klein is sixth. And Payson Johnson already up to seventh. Wow, not even 8 minutes into this moto after being outside of the top 30, and the defending champion is in seventh, but he's going to lose a spot here to Wilcox. Slide back to eighth. He is still ahead of his teammate, Cooper Hunt. I'm curious how this dynamic between teammates is going to play out a little bit. Between Hunt and Johnson, who were not teammates indoors. Johnson rode for the Panini Motorsports outfit indoors earlier this year, while Hunt rode for atom.com, I believe. And now they're obviously teammates on the Covenant effort there, so they probably had a pretty friendly start to their tenure together as teammates, as it usually does, but suddenly Hunt is now the red plate holder in the Grand Prix scene and trying to continue to chip away points here in the national scene from his teammate Johnson. So you kind of become pseudo rivals with your teammate, and imagine it's still probably cordial right now, but interested to see if it ever spills over. What's up, John Baladava Castro? I think I said your name right. From the Philippines. Oh, Sean Klein just went down in the U-turn here before the little gravity cavity section, I like to call it right here. Very similar to what we see at Unadilla. Uh-oh, Bordeaux went down. He is out of third and now battling with Wilcox here. Wilcox on that 33 is going to get up the inside. Let's see if he can make it work, though. Bordeaux around the outside has got a great drive. Trying to drive back up the inside down the hill. But Wilcox makes it stick. Now Cavacuti up here is going to have to deal with some pressure because Thomas Wilcox on the 33 is absolutely flying right now. Wasting very little time to make some passes to get to the front in an effort to maybe get away from Johnson's charge. So these three riders still nose to tail. Then it's Frank Jackson just ahead of them. Seth Carr is still in second, but that just shows you the gap right there. Prynne out front is like 3 whole straightaways ahead, an 18.5 second lead on Seth Carr right now. Back to this battle for fourth. Cavacuti to the outside, Wilcox to the inside. Is that going to be a pass for the 33? Not quite just yet. But he's trying to swing to the outside and get a drive down this hill. Those ruts are so deep coming off that hill. The turn is slightly off camber as Frank Jackson has gone down. So Frank Jackson on the 47 goes down. Bordeaux also able to squeeze by as this Wilcox-Cavacuti battle went through. So this is now a battle for third. Third of the way through this 250 Moto 1 here at Southwick. To the outside, Cavacuti goes, and that inside line clearly not developed just enough yet for Wilcox to lay it in there and keep his momentum solid as he loses quite a bit of time right there. Bordeaux still trying to sneak up into the picture, and then here is Johnson, Hunt, and Cochran. We got a request in chat to go on board with Casey Cochran, so we'll stick on to the number 90 BPC machine here for a little bit and see what it's like to chase down Cooper Hunt with a dose of Pace and Johnson just up the road of that, and pretty much everybody all the way up to second, nose to tail-ish right now. Oh, Cochran is down just as we go on board with him. You got a kick coming through the sweeper, and high sides, and down he goes. So we'll go back up to this battle and see how things are kind of shaping out. It looks a little bit like Cavacuti is getting away from Wilcox, and in turn, Bordeaux and Johnson are catching the 33 a little bit here. So things are kind of yo-yoing just a bit. Carrying speed through this downhill section. Look at this. Bordeaux is caught right back up to Wilcox. So maybe it's just Bordeaux crashing out of third, took him out of it for just a moment, and Wilcox took advantage of that. But now Bordeaux just made a big mistake, landing on complete flat off the top there. And now he goes down, so another mistake there for Bordeaux, and that's going to allow Johnson and Hunt by. Of course, Cochran had just gone down, so he is not going to be able to make the pass on Bordeaux there, as Klein now comes down the hill next in line, and then it looks like Cochran just behind that. But that will move. So Cavacuti was already third, Wilcox fourth, and Johnson now already into the top five, and Wilcox just went down. So that is going to shuffle positions once again as he gets the ship righted and continues on. So now Johan Bordeaux going to be right on Wilcox's muffler here once again. Wilcox kind of little OJ on that jump. Slammed it into the dirt. Just grinding the front end through that corner there is Johan Bordeaux. So while this battle continues to develop, we look ahead and see Payson Johnson on Dylan Cavacuti, just in time for Johnson to move around the 94 or not. Cavacuti with a blazing line, able to get back by. Hunt still behind this, so this is currently your battle for third, I believe it is, as Johnson now able to go through and into third place. Seth Carr is still up here in second. Huge lead for Prin. Who did we lose in this group? Somebody went down, I think. All right, Frank Jackson was up here, and he went down. Forgot about that. Speaking of Jackson, though, here he is battling with Luke Sullivan. First we've seen of Sullivan here for a little bit is, oh, Jackson. I hate those fall-off crashes. He made a little mistake and slid off the side of the track and then just happened to hit the one hay bale there for a country mile and immediately had a legs off. The second you hit your head on something hard like that, you'll fall off the bike. He could have just kept sliding on the side of the track, corralled it together, and it would have been maybe a 3-second time loss. Instead, it's like a 10-second time loss. Those ones are just so frustrating. Oh, Wilcox and Bordeaux get together. Bordeaux flipping down the hill up the side of the track. Does Klein know that Wilcox is still sideways in the track? Wilcox just got going as Klein came over the hill, and Klein is going to pass Wilcox and Bordeaux. Bordeaux now getting onto the track as he rejoins there behind Sullivan, but still ahead of Cochran. So that was interesting to see how that whole thing shaped up. Race leader Nathan Prin as we come up to the halfway point of this moto, as 15 minutes are just about gone. 15 minutes and 2 laps will still remain here, and Nathan Prin continues to lead the race here at Southwick. But let's go ahead and give you guys a top 20 rundown halfway through this moto, presented of course by R Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com. That's eatrjerky.com. And use the code SYS20, that is SYS20, for 20% off your order at R Jerky. And we're happy to have them on board with the stream this year and giving you guys some sweet discounts over there. So they bring you this top 20 rundown. Nathan Prin on the Phil's KTM, the number 42 machine, continues to lead the race away from Seth Carr, the 347 Underground RC. These two have been 1-2 since the gate drop here. And that gap has now opened up to a 15-second lead on Seth Carr on the 347 Underground RC Cowie. It's third already, though, for Payson Johnson halfway through this moto. The number 1 Covenant Honda outside of the top 30 on the first lap of the race, up to third already, and something tells me second isn't too far away. Dylan Cavacuti on the Underground RC number 94 has moved his way into fourth, so a good ride for the Underground RC teammates of Carr and Cavacuti, running second and fourth currently. Fifth right now is Cooper Hunt on the number 38 Covenant Honda. Sixth is Thomas Wilcox, the number 33 C4 Designs machine. He's going to lay it down, and here comes Luke Sullivan and Sean Klein and Bordeaux. How about this battle? We might have to pause, see what goes on here as Wilcox gets up behind Sullivan. There is Bordeaux. Klein made a mistake, and Cochran just off the back of this group. So let's stick with this just for a minute, and then we'll finish that our Jerky Top 20 rundown. So Klein, that was interesting. He entered the corner there before the finish line jump ahead of Bordeaux. Didn't see what happened to him, but Bordeaux able to make the pass. Remember, it was Bordeaux and Wilcox who crashed just a lap ago, pretty much in the section we just went through. How about that move, though, for Cochran around the outside of Klein? Klein is getting sick and tired of getting past here, though, and he's up the pace. And that was Wilcox that just got taken down. So Wilcox is trying to get up from a crash, and he gets put back to the ground. Klein responding to that pressure from Cochran, though, able to get back by him. Of course, they all just went around Wilcox, who slides back to 11th now. Frank Jackson was also able to get by. And now Klein trying to catch back up to Bordeaux. Might even sneak an inside line here. Now might get around Sullivan as well. A double pass for Klein. Bordeaux going to go up the inside of the 18. Oh, Sullivan and Bordeaux, they're three wide up the hill as Klein couldn't quite get the drive. They're still almost three wide as Bordeaux lays it over on the table and passes them both back. So Sullivan falls back behind, and Klein almost contact with Sullivan up the inside there as Cochran on the 90 sneaks into the back of the picture here as well. So it's Bordeaux, Sullivan, Klein, and Cochran in a four-rider train right here. Unbelievable action. Sullivan going to try to get Bordeaux back as fast as he can. Bordeaux to the preferred inside line, going to get out of there very cleanly. And Cochran also got the preferred line, trying to get to the inside of Klein. Not quite able to get there just yet. Rider down up the road. Oh, it is a lap rider. Looks like the 741 perhaps. So everybody's kind of spread apart here for just a moment. So let's go back and finish up this R Jerky Top 20 rundown. It's Cooper Hunt still fifth. Johan Bordeaux, the motorsport.com 394, runs in sixth. It's seventh for Luke Sullivan on the Phil's KTM number 18. Eighth for Sean Klein on the Evergood number 10. Ninth for Casey Cochran on the BPC Yamaha. And 10th now for Frank Jackson on the Team Nami number 47. 11th goes to Casey Cochran on the C4 Designs, or Casey Cochran, excuse me, Thomas Wilcox on the number 33 C4 Designs machine. He's going to get collected with a lap rider, and the lapper rides out of it. That's the 704 of Jack Fowler. Oh, and Klein's down with Sullivan. So Jackson goes over the top of them. Another lapper coming in. Oh, I'm sorry, that's actually Gatlin. So Gatlin just went down. On the 369 MXS Magazine GeoGuessr Yamaha. Unbelievable turn of events here. So 11th now is Alex Kerr on the Jack Daniels Racing number 84. 12th for Thomas Wilcox. 13th for Gatlin. 14th is Neil Fitzpatrick, number 71 Pro Line Designs machine. 15th for Lane Wofford, the Underground RC number 181. 16th Alex Griffiths, on the Bakery Film Co. number 139. 17th for Logan Leitzel, number 13 Phil's KTM. 18th for Brandon Nygren, atom.com number 150. And 19th for Alec Horn on the AEO number 310. Brandon Wolf now runs 20th. Final points paying position for the 427 Yogi Designs machine. That is a top 20 rundown brought to you by R Jerky. Nathan Prynn still leading the way here, 20 minutes in, 10 minutes and 2 laps left to go. It's Seth Carr still second, though. Johnson, I believe, got up to Carr, but then went down. So he is now in third. Cooper Hunt, fourth around Cavacuti in fifth. And back to this battle between Jackson and Sullivan. which I believe is 8th right now for Frank Jackson. It is. Go on board with Sullivan on the Phil's KTM and see what it's like from his point of view here for a moment. Sullivan, after going down last time by, as Frank Jackson swaps in front of him and goes down. And this is actually a really good indication on board here with Sullivan of how bad the track is getting. You're seeing some real choppy stuff through some of these sections. There, another couple kicks for Sullivan. This inside rut's gotten so much deeper, really bumpy through, and then these guys jump to this outside, and that's kind of turned into a little bit of a ramp into the outside berm. Oh, Sullivan over the bars. Oh, man, Luke Sullivan is having a tough go out here at Southwick. Uh-oh, Johnson, he's up in a second. Seth Carr has given it up. The Underground RC number 347 must have went down. We didn't quite catch and see where that would have been, but it was enough for Johnson to get back by. 3.4 second gap up to Johnson. And it really does seem as though we're not going to see Johnson catching Prinn unless something dramatic happens. 26-second lead for Prinn. There is still 7.5 minutes left to go in this race, and I've seen some crazier things happen for sure. Oh, Johnson riding the ragged edge, and there it is. He goes down. He was riding at the very top of that rut. So Seth Carr is going to go by, and you know what? Here comes Cooper Hunt as well down the hill. He is going to be right in the picture right there. There is Hunt on the 38. So Cooper Hunt now within not only a shot of getting his teammate Johnson, but he's still right there on Carr for potentially third. He's only about 8 seconds behind Seth Carr. Johnson in the midst of some lap traffic, 573 going over top. Johnson getting kicked around a little bit as well. Doesn't look like he's got that Covenant Honda settled down too well as the track has gotten rougher. And one thing about this type of racing, as Hunt gets really close, is that these guys don't often get a chance to practice the track at this level of wear as Johnson goes down, and that's going to cost him third. But the qualifying sessions for this track, I think they're only 10 minutes in a lap, and so the track gets reset after every single restart of a race. So if you only do a 10-minute moto every single time, you're only feeling the track and how your bike reacts to the track at certain levels of erode on the track. But at this point, obviously, the track is much more worn in, coming up to 25 minutes into this moto with 40 guys on it. And that's something that really, I don't see many guys do that much of this day anymore. It used to be kind of a thing. I guess probably when the tracks were released earlier back in the day, we'd have the track released Monday and race Wednesday. Tuesday night would be kind of an impromptu like stopwatch national. We'd get a lot of the top guys on and do a couple 30+2s together and really see what the track, well, back then the track didn't shape up, but kind of see if we needed to change our setups at all or see if we felt good against some other people. So Hunt has now moved up into third, and as mentioned, he is not that far behind Seth Carr. Here is Carr, there is Hunt, and Cooper Hunt, ever the steady Eddie in this outdoor championship so far, has gone from a 10th place start to a potential 2nd place finish. And if anything, that has been his kryptonite that's kept him from winning an overall in the national scene. He's now got that GP win ticked off, but his starts have not been good enough to put him right at the front from the get-go, and that might be why he's not able to win some of these motos. You can see Seth Carr now going to deal with the pressure here from Cooper Hunt. Carr looks like he is had a couple problems at the midpoint of this moto that has taken him out of his element. And look at that, Hunt right up the inside, wasting no time to go through and into second place. So Cooper Hunt into the 2 spot now. Oh, Seth Carr not giving up just yet. Goes to the inside and gets it right back. So we're going back and forth here for second. Seth Carr on the 347 Underground RC Cowie back into the 2 ride. Hunt trying to go outside, carry a little bit more speed. It's not going to work out in his favor this time, but he's going to go inside at the bottom of the hill. That line is developing a little bit more. Almost got a wheel in there. Over the old finish line jump here. The very, very back of the track from where the starting line is. Oh, Hunt getting a kick coming down the hill right there. Seth Carr pushing his limits, goes off the track, going to rejoin just ahead of Hunt. Stands it up in the corner a little bit, then gets, oh, he got kicked sideways and a leg's off immediately. Oh, Payson Johnson getting kind of caught out by some lap traffic right there. Lapper not at fault, really. He was trying to get out of the way. Ended up in Johnson's line because Johnson had swung wide to avoid going into him. So Johnson now moves back into 3rd. Seth Carr slides back to 4th. And Bordeaux is still 5th. Cochran 6th. Jackson 7th. Cavacuti right there with him in 8th. So good little battle here between the 47 and the 94. Cavacuti ripping the outside there at the bottom of the hill. Getting a pretty good run through here as well. Frank Jackson is feeling the pressure, but Cavacuti knifes the front end into the rut and goes down. Luke Sullivan on the 18 goes by right there. And that is going to be all going through, as Alex Kerr wasn't quite able to get there just in time. Let's go back out front, though, and see Nathan Prynn with a sizable advantage still. And we haven't been talking about him much this moto or even been on board with him. He's got a 43-second lead or thereabouts. He's exploring the limits of the racetrack a little bit, but when you have this big of a lead, you can kind of do whatever you want. This late into the race, you've pretty much got it in the back of your mind that this thing is in the bag, so it's more about just maybe you want to push and do a couple hot laps, as he's actually about to lap Jeremy Siebold here. This is not a good moto at all for the number 9, your 2020 Supercross champion. Oh, and Prynn just getting kicked around on the ruts there. High centered a little bit. Oh, now he's going to get kicked over and goes down. That'll cost him 10 seconds as Cooper Hunt is back here. Uh-oh, Johan Bordeaux is into 3rd ahead of Payson Johnson. And boy, wouldn't this be something if Bordeaux could move his way up and finish 2nd in this moto. Seemingly out of nowhere as well. We have not seen Bordeaux. I don't even know if we've seen him at all in the North America side of the series this year. Payson Johnson fighting back on the 1, though, creeping back into the picture. Little mistake, it looks like, for Cooper Hunt up the road, so these two are going to catch him just a little bit more, and this is kind of about to turn into a 3-rider battle for 2nd before long. Johnson trying to stay low, get that power down. Might be up the inside here off the top of the hill. Bordeaux, a bit of a sitting duck, but he's trying to hold the throttle in it. Going to cut back up underneath Johnson and try this inside line. It's a pretty good one, and it's going to hold him ahead of Johnson for the time being. Johan Bordeaux not laying over whatsoever for the defending champ, and he's going after Hunt now. A couple of sneaky inside lines have gotten back around Johnson and right on the back tire there of Cooper Hunt. 3-rider fight for 2nd. Time has now expired, so 3 laps to go currently. 2-lap board coming out next time by for race leader Nathan Prynn as Hunt goes down and takes Bordeaux with him. And somehow Payson Johnson avoided the scrum. Who gets up first between these two, though, as it's a battle for 3rd to the top of the hill. They're going to make contact again, and Bordeaux another fall-off crash. Oh, that's very unfortunate, as Bordeaux looked like he had a nose, perhaps, on Hunt, and through goes Casey Cochran. So Cochran moves his way into 4th But the beneficiary there, of course, is Payson Johnson, who was in 4th and now slides right up into 2nd, avoiding the tangle up between Hunt and Bordeaux. So Johnson now moving into 2nd. Lap traffic there. Oh, Johnson, little slide out. So now it's interesting dynamic where it's not a case of Johnson being far enough ahead of Hunt that he could have a fall-off crash and get up and still be battling with him. If he goes down right now, Hunt will just be back ahead of him straight up. So Johnson has got to settle in a little bit here and regroup from that mistake and not let it get to him too much. Meanwhile, Nathan Prynne is about to come down and get the 2-lap board out front. In and out of the inside of the corner there, then dropping back down the hill. And 2 laps to go here at Southwick 250, moto number 1. So Johnson still in 2nd, Hunt 3rd, Cochran 4th, Seth Carr now up into 5th. Johan Bordeaux, perhaps a bit flustered with that whole situation with Cooper Hunt, has dropped back to 6th, and he's had another fall-off crash judging by the time distance between himself and Seth Carr. Frank Jackson here in 7th, Lane Wofford up into 8th, Dylan Cavacuti running in 9th, and Alex Kerr side by side with Logan Leitzel for 10th. Oh, they whip into each other. I should say Kerr whipped into Leitzel because Leitzel barely even did anything. Kerr laid it over hard, and they're both down in a tough spot right there trying to get going. As coming down the hill there is the 48, who's a lap down, and he gets into Leitzel and puts him down. So Kerr is going to skirt back by into 10th, and Sullivan now moves to 11th, Fitzpatrick 12th, and Leitzel rejoins in 13th. So interesting situation there. Doesn't look like anything is really changing out front. I'd hate to miss it, but trying to keep an eye on some of these other battles going on back here. A couple teammates, Leitzel and Sullivan, about to go at it. Wilcox is still in the background of this group. Then you got Gatland, Alec Horn, Brandon Nygren, Jeremy Siebold. And I think Siebold he's still the last guy on the lead lap. Yes, he is. He is in 18th on the lead lap right now. But you can see the blue bar at the bottom of the screen. Actually, no, you can't because of the overlay I have on the screen. But the blue bar is being displayed. It's at 2.2 seconds for Jeremy Siebold. Defending Southwick 250 champ. And if you notice on Siebold's pit board, it says number 1 SW, so number 1 Southwick, I guess, is what he's going for there. Contact in the last turn, and Prynne is going to go by as the white flag waves. There you see it prominently displayed there by our track crew. And oh my goodness, there's some stuff going on down here right now. There's some lap traffic trying to unlap themselves perhaps, or not sure really what's happening, but it's absolute chaos back there. And Prynne just went down in front of these guys with the lead. So there goes that whole freight train. Prynne standing it back up, and that's Nygren just went down. Johnson getting the white flag now, so that's a pretty good indication how big Prynne's lead is still at right now. Not really any battles inside of the top 10. Neil Fitzpatrick in 11th. Oh, he's going to get around Sullivan. So Sullivan back to 11th yet again. Gatlin 12th, Kerr 13th. And here's this epic battle right now. Kerr, Horn, Wilcox, Siebold, and is that Prynne amongst them all? No, I'm sorry, that's Leitzel. You got 5 riders nose to tail here. And they have actually caught Jack Gatland. So it's Gatland, Horn, Kerr, Leitzel, Siebold, and Wilcox all together. This is the real heated spot right here, though. Leitzel and Wilcox down on the outside. That is Alec Horn, so they're all going to go by him, and Kerr hit him. So this entire trio just went by, and then Leitzel goes up, takes the lapper down, comes back in front, almost clips Wilcox. Siebold able to skirt by as well. Oh, Fitzpatrick was down trying to get up sideways in front of Gatland. And that's never a situation you want to see happening. Prin bringing us down here the final couple corners. Back to this battle again real quick. Uh-oh, Fitzpatrick down again, and this is about to kill him because he's about to get lapped right here. And so he was in 11th, or actually battling for 12th, I think it was. He's got to try to get back on the track and finish before Prin goes by, but he is not. Prin is up the inside, has gone by in front of him. So here it is, final turn. In and out of the inside, and Nathan Prin gets it done in 250 Moto number 1 at Southwick. Johnson will bring it home to finish up second in this one. Casey Cochran looks like he has gotten around Cooper Hunt for third, as has Johan Bordeaux for fourth. Vittorio, that's not how you spell rough. So Cochran rounds out the podium here in third. Bordeaux, in his debut ride, as we believe, in the NA Series, comes home in fourth. Great ride for the 394. Cooper Hunt will end up fifth. Seth Carr ran second for so long, he'll get sixth in this one. That's still a pretty good result for him. Frank Jackson seventh, Lane Wofford eighth, Sullivan in ninth, and Cavacuti rounding out the top 10. Logan Leitzel back here in 11th, Wilcox 12th, Siebold still charging behind him in 13th. And Siebold is pushing the envelope here, trying to pass Wilcox. And they've caught Leitzel ahead of him. So this one's coming down to the flag. Oh, Leitzel crossing over in front of Wilcox. That was very close. I think that might be Brandon Wolf trying to get out of the way down the inside as these guys are carrying the speed down the hill. Leitzel, mistake, hits the tough block. Here comes Wilcox up the inside, and Siebold might take advantage as well. Leitzel's not going to be able to defend the inside. Siebold goes to the outside. Wilcox blows it, goes down on the inside. Siebold hits him. They all go down. Who's going to get up first? It's going to be Leitzel who crosses the line 11th. Wilcox is going to get 12th. And Siebold ends up 13th in this one. Griffiths with a strong ride in 14th. Jack Gatlin ends up 15th there. And Alec Horn will be 16th. Alex Kerr, first rider, a lap down, is 17th. Neil Fitzpatrick was 18th, 19th for Seth Shirley, and 20th for Nygren. Let's take a look at cuts. Nothing doing. Prin, your Moto 1 winner here at Southwick. Woo. All right, back in studio live here on Start Your Systems. Kellen Brower in the booth, bringing you guys the action tonight here at Southwick. And wow, interesting first 250 moto. Nathan Prin dominant from the get-go, gets a whole shot, runs away with it. Mason Johnson has to come from outside of the top 30 to get second in this one. Only ends up 12 seconds down at the end. And if you actually notice there, they both ran almost the identical best times. The only guys under, looks like under 212 were Johnson and Prin. 209.671 out of Johnson, 209.406 out of Prin. And yeah. Axis, can you hit me up on either Discord or Instagram or something? I got something I need to talk to you about. And if you hit me up right now, you'll remind me that I need to talk to you because I won't remember at the end of the stream. So if you could, please. Brad Hoke wants to know, Kellen, whatever happened to Jeremy Hinters? So with Hinters, you know, we both started the channel together. It was kind of an equal share thing. We were both contributing videos pretty equally. And in 2017, Hinters got hurt really bad. He had to do like shoulder surgery or something like that. So he was he was laid up for a while, couldn't really contribute, and then when he got back to full strength, he decided, like, I guess video games wasn't really for him that much anymore, or at least helping out with the channel wasn't. So he got real busy with his real life job and just was going out to the gym and stuff a lot. And we kind of agreed to mutually part ways at that time, just because he was, you know, had other interests in life, really. And I totally get it, dude. Like, I'm not saying no hard feelings whatsoever. I 1,000% understand his position and wanting to go and you know, do what he wanted to do with his life at that time. And at any point, if he wants to come back and help out with SYS, he's always welcome back. So hopefully we'll see him back at some point. But yeah, he's just out living his life, really. Let's see. KR money is still on the line. What do you mean? Jay-Z Joker says, "Hey Kellen, how have you been? Hope Lang does good tonight." Yes, I've been great. Thank you very much. And indeed, Lang hopefully he can have a good moto here tonight in the first moto and make things interesting against Leclerc. Blake O'Brien says, thoughts on Village Idiots saying this is the worst track on the circuit and that it should be removed forever. I don't think it's the worst track. I've never been to it in person, so I always hate like giving any sort of thoughts about a track and where it falls on the track scale comparatively, if I've never actually seen it in real life. But I think we need sand tracks to, you know, shake things up a little bit. I think Southwick is a great sand track for it because it's not like Florida sand. It's its own kind of unique New England sand. So it's okay to still go to Florida and go to Southwick, in my opinion. And I think that this track is like a great test for something different that the pro scene doesn't normally get to see, I guess. Let's see. The Reed 34, do you think anyone can challenge Geyser at Matterley? I still think Geyser's going to go 1-1 at Matterley. He's always been pretty good there. Hurlings is still trying to get back to full song, and Geyser's starts mostly have been pretty good in the last year or so. So I think he'll probably get up front both motos and go 1-1 in my opinion. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, KR Money, you're not on the line anymore. Gotta shut that down. What else we got? Do you think Gebhardt has the fastest raw speed? I don't know. It's that's a tough question to answer. We always point to Leclerc and the raw pace that he has. I guess Gebhardt on his day is the fastest rider, but his days seem once every 5th or 6th round, so I don't know. Tough to say. My predictions for Redbud next weekend, 250 and 450. I don't know, but I do know I am going to Redbud, so if anybody's going to Redbud, I will see you there. I'll be there Thursday through Sunday. So if you're in the area, we run into each other, I see you guys at the track, whatever, please don't hesitate to come up and say what's up. If you see me, if you recognize me, notice me, whatever. Yeah, definitely show up for the boys. Awesome. Thanks, Axis. Appreciate it. All right. Got the moto timer reset. And who are we going to watch on the start here? Devin Davis is down the inside, but it's time to go racing. 450 moto number 1 at Southwick. Good jump for the 20 of Cohenauer. Might get to the corner first, but Leclerc dives it in deeper. Up the inside. It's going to be Jeremy Cohenauer with the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award. The MV Films number 20 out front with Leclerc right in tow right behind him. Looks like Caleb Hall 561 is right there as well. I think that's the 30 of Magnetti on the BPC. Yamaha gets together with maybe Cade Matherly and went down right there. So it's Cohenauer leading the way, and Hall shoots around Leclerc to get into second. Leclerc fights right back up the inside to get it back. And Magnetti right there on the 30 mixed together. You see Magnetti trying to get around the outside of Hall. Leclerc trying an inside move on Cohenauer already. Cohenauer trying to hold on to this lead as Leclerc applies some early pressure. Oh, Leclerc almost into the back tire there. Caleb Hall, and is that coming down the hill right there? That's Lang. Lang has got a good start on the 14 around the outside of his teammate. Is going to shoot by Oh, Leclerc on Kohenauer for the lead. And he's got it. That was very, very close between the two, though. And Lang almost into the back of Kohenauer. Has to come to a stop. Now to the bottom of the hill. Lang trying to shoot the gap to the outside, but Kohenauer shuts the door and holds on to second. Leclerc leads. Kohenauer second. Lang third. Magnetti up to fourth with Hall slipping back to fifth right now. Our other championship contender looks like Colby Eaglin's buried down the field early on. Lang already up in the second, and perhaps we're looking at the exact type of race we wanted here tonight. Lang versus Leclerc, 1-2 in the championship, 15 points separating them. 16 points, I should say. And the battle is gonna be on here in the sands of Massachusetts. We got Lang early on here trying to get feisty, go to the outside. Got a little kick, though. And these two already opening up a gap on Kohenauer as Leclerc leads across the line at the end of lap one. Kohenauer settling into third behind Lang. And then you see Magnetti battling it out with Hall back there. And I wanted to stick with this just a couple seconds longer and see if anything develops between these guys. This is 1-2 in the championship. And this is really the first time we've seen them start together. It's usually flip-flop somehow, some way. Either Lang avoids all the chaos in the first turn and Leclerc gets caught up in it, or Leclerc gets his patented hole shot and Lang ends up way down the order and having to catch up. So this is the first time we've seen them really mano-a-mano pace-wise to see where it's going to shake out. Let's go on board with Lang and take a look. The early runnings here of the track, what it looks like. It's definitely not as gnarly as it was at the end of the 250 moto after the track reset between motos. Southwick is on July 10th now, but it originally in the calendar was going to be this weekend, which is why we're racing Southwick this weekend in Sim, because we were basing it off the original calendar. Though I don't know why Redbud was the weekend after. I don't know why we're racing Redbud on the 7th instead of the 1st of July or the 30th of June, I guess. Man, Lang is not letting Leclerc get away at all, and these two are opening up a small gap. It is Magnetti in third now. Battle is hot and heavy at the front. The early runnings here at 450 moto number 1 at Southwick. Look at Lang charging to this outside line, trying to stay right at the top of the berm there. Going to try to get a drive alongside Leclerc. This is for the lead up the inside before the finish line jump. Lang backs out of the challenge momentarily, but still gets the pass done. Lang to the lead at Southwick. And now this is a whole different dynamic. Leclerc, not often, is a guy that gets passed, and he might try to pass Lang back. He punts him. Leclerc goes down. Lang goes down. And coming through is Magnetti trying to take the lead. Luke Magnetti to the front. Leclerc tries to cut back underneath. It's a drag race down the hill. But it's Leclerc and Magnetti bar to bar still. Magnetti trying to fight to the outside. And these two still side by side as Lang creeps back up into the picture. Very interesting dynamic between Leclerc and Lang. I didn't expect to see fireworks already, but lo and behold, we've got him. And a mistake for Leclerc allows Magnetti maybe to the outside here. Lang fighting up to the inside, trying to get around Magnetti, might have a line. Magnetti shuts the door and holds steady on the inside at the top of the hill. And it's a three-rider train at the front. I'm sure there's frantic action elsewhere, but this one has been a barn burner so far. With Leclerc, now Magnetti mixed together after Leclerc and Lang got together. And Magnetti has come here to play tonight at Southwick. He is down and ready for a battle with Leclerc and Lang, and somehow, some way, Leclerc does not look like the fastest rider in this group. So 3 riders going for the lead here, almost 6 minutes into this first moto. And what's going to happen first? Is Lang going to get around Magnetti? Is Magnetti going to get around Leclerc? Seems like they're all got certain spots of the track that they're a little bit better than each other. Leclerc's obviously going to be really good through this section right here. He's got so much torque on this Rockstar Energy Husqvarna that he just flows the momentum through. But this is where Lang was able to make the pass on Leclerc last time. Round the outside, he's going to use it to his advantage again to get up the inside here of Magnetti and just swoop to the outside to shut the door on him and not let him have another chance. Leclerc up the inside out of the final corner, opening up a small gap though. I was surprised Lang didn't settle into the inside right there because that line looks like it's preferred if it gets deep enough. So maybe he just wasn't as comfortable after nearly going down there a lap ago. But it is, once again, Leclerc from Lang, and now Magnetti settling back into third, but they're still almost nose to tail in the very early stages of 450 Moto number 1. Leclerc actually sneaking away just a tiny bit here. It's ever so slight, the gap. And Lang is definitely closing that gap down to Leclerc. Once again, Leclerc and Lang only separated by 16 points in the championship. Leclerc on that Husqvarna. The number 1 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna backed outfit with Lang on the Underground RC Cowie and Magnetti on the BPC Yamaha. So 3 different manufacturers represented out front. And Leclerc fully actually backed by Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. That team owned by Arminas Jasikonis, who rides for Rockstar Husqvarna in real life. So Leclerc, Lang, Magnetti there. All right, a little further back, Caleb Hall, Dennis Fjellberg, Jacob Hubbard, and Adam Holm coming down the hill. Hubbard on the inside of his teammate, a couple KTM riders on those Phil's KTMs. Look at Hubbard up the inside of Fjellberg, and following suit in the background there is Holm on the 17. Oh, Fjellberg lays it down up the inside to get back around Hubbard. Around the outside goes Holm, but he blew the rut. So not able to stick it into the corner and hold steady. Kohenauer from the lead has drifted back to, what is this, 8th? 8th for Kohenauer, 9th for Braden Carter. And 10th is Matthias Janis. Got Walter Gebhardt on the 5 sneaking in as well. Remember, Gebhardt, winner of the second moto last week at High Point, and arguably was the fastest rider on track all day long as he gets kicked. And down he goes, and he's still flipping. That's going to be a lengthy fall-off crash as he finally lays it down and settles. So Chase Donovan able to go by him. Here's Carter up the inside of Kohenauer, and an easy pass in the end for the number 19, your current 450 Supercross champion on that Phil's KTM. Looks like Holm has caught back up to this Fjellberg-Hubbard battle. Fjellberg on the 3, Hubbard on the 11, Holm on the 17. See, Holm to the outside, going to try to get a drive up the hill. He might be able to quad this, but Hubbard actually got a great drive as well. They both quadded. Hubbard from the inside. Meanwhile, Fjellberg has got the drive on Hall up the inside here at the top of the hill. Not quite close enough. Settles in. Wow, Fjellberg's going to try to go inside here, and he's bringing his teammate Hubbard with him. They're going to get stacked up in the corner, and here's Holm to the outside. Almost got both of them. Now Hubbard lays it in, and Holm goes through. So Fjellberg and Holm now nose to tail, still trying to catch Caleb Hall, and Hubbard on the 11 lost a spot in all of that. You got the Underground RC Cowie here of Hall, and then a couple Phil's KTM with Fjellberg. And Hubbard now behind Holm. Holm on that atom.com Cowie. So it looks like Holm is teammates with Hall, but he is not. And Holm around the outside if Fjellberg gets that pass done. Turns it to the inside here. And Holm has successfully worked his way through this pack. Now can he stay ahead of Hall? Hall trying to charge back up the inside, but Holm does get down to the inside to keep that spot. Incredible moves there for Adam Holm to make his way up into the 4th position. Back to our lead group though, still Leclerc and Lang, 1 and 2, pretty close together. Magnetti dropping off the pace just a little bit behind them. Let's do a lap time check. 2:06 dead, 2:05.5, so half a second faster for Leclerc last time by, gap out to 2 seconds. But Lang is certainly keeping him very honest here through the early stages of this race, not yet halfway through. Leclerc now getting into some lap traffic. Lang riding the nose coming down that hill has actually closed that gap down just a little bit more. Look at that, scrubbing the quad because he's got so much speed. Tyler Lang is in it to win it in this 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship. And it seems like we have caught this lead group up again at the right time because Lang has really wicked it up here. The gap was out to about 2 seconds, down to just about 1, and seeming like it's continuing to drop. Not sure if Lang is elected to up the pace specifically on these couple of laps, but Leclerc just made a mistake. Lang is almost going to get side by side with the defending champ. Leclerc almost loops out going down the hill, and there's nothing in it between your leaders. As I come down through the back, look at this drive from Lang. He's been using this outside line to his advantage as Leclerc goes defensive on the inside again. Lang's just going to keep it wicked around the outside, and back into the race lead goes Tyler Lang as he cuts across the nose of Leclerc. Now Leclerc, he goes to the inside in the final corner, and they're going to be bar to bar over the finish line jump. It's Lang back to the lead. Does Leclerc try to center punch him here again? No, Leclerc a mistake, and Lang to the front at Southwick. Wow, that was an incredible move for the number 14. Around the outside, he's been using that line 2 corners before the finish line jump to his advantage this entire moto, and now uses it to get the race lead away from Leclerc. Outrider getting up from a crash here. Looks like Leclerc is trying to perhaps settle back in and remount an attack. 2:07.3 last time by, and Lang matched Leclerc's best at a 2:05.5, so he upped his pace to do that. And now Leclerc has got to try to respond, and that's going to be him going down. Leclerc down and off the bike. And then Magnetti goes by for second. Wow, that was quite a ride there for Leclerc, and that's what happens. Sometimes you push a guy like Leclerc, who often is so fast he's able to get in his own zone out front. You challenge him for just once, even if it's a little bit, and in this case, Lang was able to pass him. And it was plenty enough to rattle Leclerc just a little bit, and a small mistake was all it needed for him to send himself to the ground. And now as we approach the halfway point of this race, as we are just about 15 minutes in with 15 minutes still to go, plus 2 laps, of course. We'll give you guys a top 20 rundown brought to you by atom.com. atom.com is the Adam Holm, but he also sponsors the atom.com race team. And if you go to ayetom.com, check out his music line and pick up his merch and support the guys that support us here on the broadcast. Thanks so much coming on board, Adam Holm, this year. Tyler Lang leads here on to lap number 8. The Underground RC number 14 machine takes it over from Leclerc on the 7th lap in dramatic fashion. Luke Magnetti moves into second. That BPC Yamaha number 30 now ahead of Leclerc. Your defending champion on the number 1 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna in third. It's the 4th position right now for Jacob Hubbard on the Phil's KTM number 11. Behind him, his teammate Dennis Fjellberg on the number 3 Phil's KTM. Caleb Hall, Adam Holm side by side, and Holm makes a mistake. So Caleb Hall shoots his way up into 6th. On the Underground RC number 561. Make sure I have that right. Yes, I do. Braden Carter, Phil's KTM number 19, moves into 7th. 8th for Matthias Janis on the Underground RC number 130, but it's going to go to 7th because Carter just went down. So 8th is now Jeremy Cohenauer on the MV Films number 20. 9th for Colby Eagland on the Covenant number 24. And 10th is Adam Holm on that atom.com number 17. 11th for Braden Carter now as he slides his way back. Walter Gebhardt on the Tegrity number 5 runs in 12th. 13th for Chase Donovan on the number 64 Pro Line Designs machine. 14th, Cade Matherly on the Stance number 100. 15th for Noah Bindus on that TemeculaMotorsports.com machine. 16th for Dylan Smith. Jack Daniels Racing ripping it up out here is at the 732 machine. 17th for Braden Castaneda, Underground RC. Number 63. Still have the position right. I always feel like I'm getting it wrong. Austin Bear on the 944 Yogi Designs machine runs 18th. 19th for Jeffrey Bruns. Atom.com number 333. And Sean Hambrook on the District Designs machine rounds out our top 20 here. That's been a top 20 rundown brought to you by Atom.com. Speaking of Atom.com, Jeffrey Bruns and Sean Hambrook going side to side here as Bruns on that Atom.com Cowie relinquishes the position, drops back to 20th. Sure, their battle's just getting started, though. Look at this battle, though, right here. This is Eaglin's charge forward, trying to get around Cohenauer. Caleb Hall just behind that. We're looking at Adam Holm and then Braden Carter on the 19 off the back of this group. 5-rider train coming up to the Buckley berm. Oh, Holm puts Hall down. Had to line up the inside and took it. And Caleb Hall, a bit of an unsuspecting victim there, trying to corral himself. Gets put on the deck instead. So Holm goes through. Here is Eaglin pulling alongside Cohenauer, and this is all about a turnaround ride for Eaglin. It has been a rough start to his night, but a 7th so far for the man sitting 3rd in the championship in the early runnings as Holm chops the door on Cohenauer, but then blows the rut, so Carter goes up the inside of both of them. Cohenauer goes to the outside to get back around Holm. Now Holm's going to go to the inside in the final turn to try to get back around Cohenauer. They're still going to be almost side by side, but Holm does get that pass completed, but at what cost? Because he did lose the spot to Carter as well, so he basically stagnated his position. Meanwhile, Carter and Eaglin, these two are going to try to maybe latch onto each other a little bit and push each other forwards. Matthias Janus just up the road of them, then Dennis Fjellberg coming down the hill. Hubbard in 4th has gotten a bit of a gap established, so he might be too far away. And then you got Luke Magnetti, who looks like he just got passed by Alexis Leclerc for 2nd, so that gap now just 1.1 seconds. But Lang is stretching the lead out front. Leclerc high centers the corner and goes off the berm. So that is going to put Magnetti back into 2nd, and Leclerc once again back to work from 3rd. As it sits right now, 5 points gained in the championship for Lang. Drops it to an 11-point lead for Leclerc. It's a little points update for you. So here is Eaglin, and Holm has gotten around Carter, so Carter must have made a mistake. He just went back around a lapped rider by the looks of it. So there is Caleb Hall on the 561 side by side with Cohenauer. Launching in the background, I think that's Gebhardt. It is, yeah, on the 5. And Cohenauer just made a mistake, so Gebhardt's going to go up the inside, and oh my goodness, that got dicey. Gebhardt sent it, and Cohenauer somehow stayed on 2 wheels right there. So now you got a little 3-rider battle here as Gebhardt now going to close up on Hall. He will make that pass with ease after a mistake out of Caleb Hall. And then, oh, Janus ends up backwards as Carter was battling with him, and now Janus has to wait for a couple guys to go by there. Looks like Caleb Hall just went down. My goodness, this is changing around a whole lot. So let's go on board with Eaglin for a minute and see how things are going for him as he's trying to work his way forward and kind of salvage as many points as he can. Remember, he was 21 points off of Leclerc and only 5 points off of Lang entering this one, so limiting the damage in this moto after starting outside of the top 20. And he can see Dennis Fjellberg, the rider out of Oslo, Norway, on that Phil's KTM just ahead of him. Inside line for Eaglin, gonna pull almost even there with Fjellberg for just a moment. Oh my goodness, almost through the front door. Eaglin riding the nose, coming down the hill right there. Both of them working around some lap traffic. And is that Hubbard, I think, getting on the track just ahead of them. So this is about to turn into a 3-rider battle for 4th. Looks like it is Hubbard indeed. These guys are nuts, just launching that. Fjellberg's going to tuck to the inside here to avoid lapped rider there on the outside. The 143 machine, and Eagland is closed right up onto him because of it. But you see Hubbard just ahead of them in the black gear. Look at this drive for Eagland right here. Going to pull up almost alongside Fjellberg. Low lines it out of the little drop down right there. Going to steal the line away from Fjellberg. Fjellberg trying to fight back to the outside. But Eagland's preferred inside option here is going to be enough to get it done. Now he sets his sights on Hubbard ahead on the 11. Not out of the woods just yet, though, is Eagland, because Fjellberg is putting the heat on, and then Adam Holm on the 17 is also lurking in the background there. Can never forget about Atom. Man, Holm has caught this group in a hurry, too. He is already all over Fjellberg there. Oh, and Eagland gets stacked up in the corner. Holm has to jump out to avoid them. Fjellberg just pushed Eagland out of the way, and he moves back into 5th. Hubbard is kind of snuck away from this group because of all the happenings going on behind him. Fjellberg is just kind of dealing with all this pressure and not able to focus on what's going on in front of him, and it's slowing the pace down, I think. So Fjellberg, Holm, and Eagland jumping into view here. Fjellberg, an inside line, looked like it didn't work out the way he was hoping, and Holm is closed right up to him in a hurry here. Bouncing through that corner right there. This guy's on the ragged edge of traction. Ooh, Holm had to kind of check up there to not run into the back of Fjellberg, who was hopping into the corner, and it might cost him. Here comes Eagland up the inside. And so many riders have taken advantage of another rider in that spot right there, as Eagland uses the left side of the track to stay a little bit lower out of that drop down, and moves back around Holm into 6th. Now trying to close right up on Fjellberg for 5th before the number 3 can kind of skirt away from this group. You can see the momentum carried by these guys, though, from corner to corner. So much speed being used by these 450 machines in the game. And this battle just will not quit. A mistake for Eagland. Here's Holm back up the inside. Goes on through, and now it's Holm's turn to try to challenge Fjellberg. It seems like both of them are kind of giving each other like half a lap to challenge Fjellberg, and if they can't make it happen, then they swap positions again. So Fjellberg back under attack from Holm. Oh, now Holm lays it down and goes down off the bike as well. That is a frustrating situation. He will remount still in 7th, but he has lost all the time that he has gained on this group of Eagland and Fjellberg. Hubbard is just starting to drop this group, though. He's left them and more focused on trying to catch Magnetti for 3rd. It's still Leclerc 2nd, and Lang way out in front with just a little over 4 minutes and 2 laps still to go. Oh, Fjellberg down out of 5th, and then immediately Eagland goes down as well. So a couple of exchanged crashes there. And Holm going to be on the back tire of Eaglin before long. See both of them laying over into that rut there. And someone's getting up from a crash right there. That is not a position, though. Not sure who that was. It might have been Devin Davis, although I don't think those guys have lapped that far yet. Another rider down, another lapped rider, and here is Holm alongside of Eagland. And these two have just been in a constant battle here for the last 10 or so minutes. Inside move for Holm, almost going to be bar to bar. Holm charges around the outside, trying to get the power down. And continues to the outside here, and he got kicked, and he somehow saved it. That was a very nice job by Holm, because that thing was going ugly in a hurry with the way he got kicked through that section. So now Carter going to sense an opportunity. Meanwhile, Kohenauer is going down, and that was just some lap traffic he was mixed up with, and he's got a big gap back to Matthias Janis. So no harm, no foul there. But Carter just went down, and Eaglin was down as well, it looks like. So they both are going to get going again. They've lost a lot of ground to Adam Holm now, and Holm's trying to catch Fjellberg. You still have Hubbard up here, Magnetti, and then Leclerc. Before we peek back out front and see Lang still putting in times down here. 24-second lead. That's down to 16, though. He must have just went down in the back. Yeah, 2:17.6. So what is Leclerc running at this stage of the race here? 15-second gap. All right, jumping down to 11.3. So even though Lang must have gone down or something right there, he still was only 6 seconds slower, essentially, than Leclerc, who didn't have a fall-off crash to our knowledge on that lap. They just lapped Walter Gebhardt. So what position have they lapped up to here is the real crux of this situation. Gebhardt is 16th. And they're about to lap. O'Matherly just went down. So Matherly is going to slide back to 16th behind Gebhardt, but Gebhardt just went down, so Matherly will go back by him. Chase Donovan and Noah Bindis having a bit of a battle between each other here as Bindis drops down the hill up the inside and not quite able to get a nose in there. But you see Lang trying to put them a lap down is right behind them. So Bindis going to let him go. And I wonder how long Donovan waits. Yeah, Donovan looks like he's trying to tuck to the inside on purpose here and let Lang by. Very nicely done in the end by both riders there. Up ahead, it's still Caleb Hall, Matthias Janis, Jack Haley on the two-stroke. Is he in the top 10? Yes, he is. He is 10th on a two-stroke. So the 252-stroke effort out here for Haley. Wow, 207 flat. That's a very solid lap time. And bogged down by the sand here. Carter again, another fall-off crash. Just picked himself up in 8th, looks like. So Eaglin is 7th. Hubbard is drifted back to 6th. Holm is now 5th. Fjellberg just ahead of him in 4th. And we got Magnetti, Leclerc, and Lang. Lang is just going to run out of time here. Time is expiring now. I mean, that was as close as the close gets. But, yeah, I think two-lap board is out for Lang. And then you got Leclerc coming through this second-to-last turn there. Getting hopped around a little bit. Leclerc was putting on a slight charge. But it's kind of stifled a little bit. 2:08.6 versus a 2:10.7 last time by, so 2 seconds gain for Lang on that lap alone. Magnetti is literally all by himself. Here's a battle, though, for 4th brewing. Fjellberg and Adam Holm. Fjellberg on the 3, the number 3 KTM, I should say, and then Holm on the number 17 Kawasaki. Jumping down, and Holm again trying to stick lower to the ground. Backside that one roller and get the power down coming down this back section. Oh, it's getting close. Holm elects to back out of the challenge, tucked to the inside. This line's getting deep. And Holm not quite able to get the power down. Actually slid the atom.com Cowie out a little bit. And Hubbard is right behind him. So this is somewhat of a three-rider battle between Fjellberg, Holm, and Hubbard. Lang going to try to size something up here through the first turn. This is where he crashed almost about a lap ago, but much cleaner through it this time. And he is just right there on Fjellberg, just giving him no inch. And now, oh, that was really close, and somehow they didn't go down together. Fjellberg, I think, elected to jump out and not cause a bigger situation than could have been. So Holm moves up into fourth. Now Lang, Leclerc, Magnetti, and Holm, your top four at the moment. Magnetti is coming into this corner, so he's pretty far away from this group, it looks like. Wow, it's down to 12 seconds, so this isn't completely over just yet. If Lang has another fall-off crash. All right, 2:18.1. Yeah, looks like Lang did actually have a fall-off crash last time by. White flag is waving, though, so 1 to go here at Southwick. Lang looking for another moto win this season and a chance to tighten the points gap from that 16-point gap down to 13 points provisionally. Leclerc did a 2:12.3, which was obviously about 6 seconds faster than Lang last time by, but we believe Lang had a fall-off crash. Gap is kind of stagnated right now. Just don't want to switch away and have him go down again. Top 10 is pretty well sorted. We'll go back and watch Lang on this last lap. Give him some credit where credit's due. Terrific ride, and one of the few times in his career we've seen Leclerc just straight up get passed and beat. These two started out front, Lang and Leclerc. Lang was just straight up faster this moto. There's nothing else you can say about it other than that. Which is so peculiar for Leclerc. That's usually the opposite. Leclerc is usually straight up the faster guy in every moto, but has mistakes or something like that that would ultimately cost him a race win. In this case, they went toe-to-toe. They went mano-a-mano. And in the end, Lang is going to end up victorious. Final few corners coming up as he comes over this floater into the back. Left-hand sweeper down the hill into the penultimate corner here at Southwick. And this one is going to feel really good, but he's got to settle it down and do the same thing in about 45 minutes time to try to gain more points on the day and leave here as the overall winner. But so far, it's good for Tyler Lang as he wins 450 Moto number 1 at Southwick. Leclerc will end up second in this one. Magnetti going to be third. Holm fourth. Fjellberg fifth. Hubbard slips back to sixth. Eaglin seventh. Carter just went down in eighth. But Jack Haley is way behind him. They lapped all the way up to 12th. Caleb Hall in this one. Matthias Janis still might have a shot at Haley from 10th. Lap time check, 2:10.8, 2:10.7 is Janis's best. So Haley's actually running a bit of a better clip right now. Stick on board with Janis here. Oh, right in that nose. I'm very impressed that Haley on that two-stroke is able to get the drives out of the corners that he has. Lost a little bit of ground up the straightaway here, but mostly he's been matching Janis corner for corner. Oh, Holm got Magnetti for third. We missed a swap there late in this one. Not sure what happened, but Magnetti must have gone down. He had it comfortably gapped on Holm, but Holm crossed the line third, Magnetti fourth, Fjellberg fifth, yeah, Hubbard sixth, Eaglin seventh, and Carter just crossed eighth, so ninth between Haley, and Haley's down. Janice is going to go by. Cohenauer is nowhere near close enough. So this is going to be 10th for Haley, no question about it. Janice comes into the final corner and will pick up 9th in 450 moto number 1. Jack Haley, as mentioned, will get 10th. Cohenauer is the last guy on the lead lap, so he'll get 11th in this one. And then behind that, already finished this one, Caleb Hall in 12th. 13th was Cade Matherly. 14th for Braden Castellaneta. 15th, Noah Bendis. 16th, Chase Donovan. 17th for Devin Davis. 18th was Reed Young. 19th for Dylan Smith. And 20th in the final points paying position was Jeffrey Bruns, but only by 0.8 of a second on Austin Bear. So it'll be curious to see whether or not that comes down to cuts. But of course, your moto winner in this one was none other than the Tyler Lang on the number 14 Underground RC Kawasaki. Conveniently places himself in front of the podium here. All right, final corner, and we'll get cuts. Here we go. Let's see what happened. Nothing changed. Oh, Austin Bear missed the final point by 0.039, so 3/100ths of a second after Jeffrey Bruns encountered some cuts there in the form of 0.8 something, 0.81 or so. Wow. But Lang, your big winner here, 450 moto number 1. All right, back in studio here. And Start Your Systems, Kellen Brower in booth, bringing you guys the action here from round 4 of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship from Southwick. How we doing tonight? How's everybody holding up? Still got 200-ish live viewers. Good to see all of you guys hanging out in the chat, having a good time. Great to see some of you guys interacting more with the chat as well. And we're just about ready to bring 250 Moto number 2 coming up next. See what happens there with all of our 250 contingent. So how is everybody doing? Tracking, we got a fire local to us here in Southern California that I'm tracking because it's pretty close to us, so we could be in danger of evacuation. So that's why I'm paying attention to my phone. Will there be an MXS of Nations? That's a good question. Usually there's something like it. I'm not sure if there's any plan for it right now, to be honest with you, but usually there is something. What's up, Tyler Schmitty, Werben, Jaegerman, Jensen? He was number 1 in 2016, 250 East champion. Yeah, I think so. 250 Moto number 1 was Nathan Prynne was your winner, so we'll see if he can go 1-1. It was Prynne, Johnson, Cochran, Bordeaux, and Hunt in the top 5. Oh, thanks, Owen Reimer. You're pretty darn cute, too. Riley Anderson asks, Kellen, when are you going to be on the Pulp Show next? I think soon. Mathis asked if I could come up in July at some point. I don't know what day just yet. But I think soon. I think I'll be on Pulp again pretty soon here. Don't forget it. Yeah, Morin going to be fuming if Leclerc wins the overall. Yeah, for those of you that weren't tuned into our Twitch channel last night, our guy Tyler Morin was hating on Leclerc for some reason. Guess they still have some everlasting beef or something like that. I told him, hey man, Leclerc and I used to have beef and we patched it up. We took a nice hot steak knife to that beef and sliced it in half and each had a bite. And it's all good now. So let bygones be bygones, you know? Hey, thank you, Devin Davis, $5 donation. I'm really bad on sand tracks, but I love you, so I'll support, or I'll continue to show my support. Thank you, Devin. I have no idea why that didn't just show up on my stream. That should have been something that popped up on my stream, but it didn't. I don't know why. Yeah, it totally just appeared on my dashboard, but then didn't. My alert box is broken, I guess. That's just very annoying too, because I like my alert box. It worked really well for like a week. Now it sucks. Alrighty. 250 moto number 2 on the track. Gate picks work based on qualifying. Faster qualifying you get, the better your gate selection is, and you pick it by typing in the chat server, comma, space, gate, space, and then what number gate you want. So if I were in chat right now and I did server, comma, gate 10, like that, your gate preference is now set to 10. So bam, that's how you set your gate. Alrighty, back to the live screen. And we'll try to get that moto timer to click correctly again. Hoping you guys are liking these new displays that I'm using. All right, boom, moto timer. What are we gonna watch on the start? Johnson right next to the box again. Might be a good idea to watch him off the start. Let's go racing once again here at Southwick. It's 250 moto number 2 right now. Better start for Johnson, but a great start by Casey Cochran. Jonathan Alexander side by side into the first corner. Casey Cochran picks up the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award as he comes through the first turn in first place. Braden Tharp right behind him in second. Alexander settles into third. Looking for some of our title contenders out front early on. Where did they settle in from the get-go here? Not a good start for Print, it seems like. I'm not seeing the 42 machine up here, nor am I seeing Payson Johnson. So it's Cochran leading. From Tharp, Alexander, Harnischfeger, another good start for the 933. Noah McLaughlin, Nick Tomasunis. This time he did not go down out of the first couple of corners. Makes the pass on McLaughlin, and then Lane Wofford right behind him. Alec Horn, Seth Garrett, and Payson Johnson, first we see of him. Brandon Nygren, Alex Griffiths, Seth Shirley, Jack Gatlin, Frank Jackson, Nate Bro, Seth Carr, Johan Bordeaux, Alex Kerr, Dylan Adams, Hayden Stevenson. Where, oh where did Nathan Prynn go? Oh where could he be? He's way the heck back here, down in 29th spot is the old Prynmeister. Let's watch on board here for a second, see what it's like to get a start back here. Woo! Brandon Wolf on his left there on that 427. This is less than ideal conditions for the Frenchman who won that first moto. Oh! Over a tough block to the outside. That's Jack Gatlin on the 369 ahead of him. Gatlin shoving Brandon Wolf out of the way. And it is just hot and heavy action going on back here. So Print up to 28th. Almost landed on Gatlin, but got a couple more spots because of it. That was a little bit hair-raising. Now he's going to jump out here, and a couple riders, one of them getting up from a crash right there. Might be a Phil's KTM rider. Is that Sullivan maybe on the 18? As Prynn around the outside gets up to 25th. Is that Alec Horn on the 310? He's trying to go to the outside up for 24th. Gets it, 151. Alexander, wow, Alexander on the 148, he was in third, and Prynn is going to cross the line at the end of lap 1 in 22nd. So that's just a quick indication of what it's like to get a start back here and deal with all that chaos. Back to Cochran, your leader, though. On the flip side of chaos is complete serenity for Casey Cochran out front, and he goes down with the lead. Oh, Casey Cochran blows it at the bottom of the hill. There goes Tharp for the lead. Harnischfeger coming down the hill. Gonna move into second place. And we got a slurry of guys mixed in there. That's Wofford, and actually there is Alec Horn. Wofford trying to go to second on Harnischfeger, with Johnson sliding in from fifth. Oh, Horn gets kicked sideways. Johnson going to go by for fourth. Harnischweger holding on here in third as the defending champion tries to sneak up the inside of the 933. He's going to scrub it down and make that pass stick up the inside. And now Wofford trying to come down the hill. Mixed together with these guys now in second. Tharp is leading the race, though, right now up the road on the 415. Look at Johnson wasting very little time. Scrubs to the outside of Wofford and moves his way into second place. Now, can he catch Tharp here? Braden Tharp on the number 415. No idea what team he's on. I don't have his skins. So he might be privateer lifing it out here. And leading the Southwick National is a good way to show off your sponsors if I had your skins. Johnson's still here in second, though, trying to charge forward. Wofford dealing with pressure from Alec Horn. Alec Horn is going to go by into third. Seth Harnischweger has lost a spot to Tomasunis, but Tomasunis goes down, hits Harnischweger off the track. And Seth is going to rejoin. Yeah, he didn't miss too many timing gates there. Johan Bordeaux coming down the hill. Jeremy Siebold on the 9's got a good start. Bordeaux up the inside of Harnischweger, going to go by the 933. Siebold to the outside is going to try to just squeak the gap in there. And the 347 of Seth Carr right behind Harnischweger as well. Look at Siebold charging to the outside of Bordeaux. Bordeaux fighting back, though. Good battle between these two. Back out front, change for the lead. Johnson to the front. He has gotten around Braden Tharp and now has clear track to work with as he tries to stretch out his lead out front. Remember, he was second in the first moto. And as it sits right now, he is in line very easily to win the overall with 2-1 scores. Alec Horn third, Bordeaux fourth, Siebold fifth, Seth Carr sixth, Wofford seventh, Harnischweger now eighth, Tomasunis ninth, Brow is in 10th, McLaughlin in 11th, Alex Kerr in 12th. Let's watch this battle, Nate Brow and Nick Tomasunis. Oh, Tomasunis landing sideways there, getting kicked across the track. Kerr almost got passed back by McLaughlin. And the 139 of Alex Griffiths is coming into the mix here. Seth Shirley, Sullivan, Estrella, Frank Jackson, Wilcox, Fitzpatrick, Alexander, and then Prynn. So Nathan Prynn is still on the struggle bus back here outside of the top 20. 228.5 last time by is not any closer to where he was hoping to be here. Keep giving some of these guys up here a little bit more love and watch some of these battles as they unfold. Look at this one right here. Wilcox, Estrella, that's Fitzpatrick to the outside, Jackson to the inside, Alexander, and Estrella gets together with Fitzpatrick as Nathan Prynn trying to jump over Jonathan Alexander to the outside here and is going to make that pass stick on his teammates. So 3 passes for the price of 1, goes to 18th, does Nathan Prynn, and he's got 3 more riders right ahead of him with McLaughlin, Jackson, and Wilcox nose to tail. Jackson up the inside trying to get around Wilcox. They're catching Harnischweger, Seth Shirley, Alec Horn, Alex Kerr, all coming down the hill here. So this is a golden opportunity for Nathan Prynn to make up a lot of points in a hurry if he can start sizing some of these guys up and making some passes. Trying to get around Wilcox now on the 33 in the background as we're looking at Harnischweger on the screen. Oh, Wilcox and Prynn both laying it over. Wilcox trying so hard to keep Prynn behind him. They're both going to go up the inside of Harnischweger and get around him. Wilcox a mistake. Here comes Prynn to the outside and he goes down. The Frenchman's down again. So Nathan Prynn having things come unraveled a little bit here in Moto 2 after a rather dominating first Moto victory. And it all started with a rough first turn. Oh, Jackson getting kicked sideways. Got into Alex Griffiths. Seth Shirley on the outside, Griffiths on the inside. Wow, Seth Shirley went invis at about the perfect time because they were most certainly about to make contact. And now something has happened to Seth Shirley. Not sure what's going on with him, but clearly we have not shown that he's picked up those timing gates. We can see where he is on the track, but he might be timing out of the server as there goes the host of riders he was just with right there. Wow, Casey Cochran hole shot this moto, and he's down in 22nd right now. Tough luck for him. Bryn going to go around Fitzpatrick. Then McLaughlin's just ahead of him. Harnischfeger, Tomasunis, Alexander, Jackson, Wilcox, Griffiths, Kerr, Brow, Alec Horn, Sullivan, Wofford, Bordeaux, Carr, Siebold, Tharp, and Johnson. As we quickly run through the field here, not quite 10 minutes into this one just yet. Johan Bordeaux working on the 347 of Seth Carr. A couple of triple-digit dudes with some great runs here at Southwick. Seth Carr has been really strong all week long. He was also pretty good at the GP earlier this week in Assen. So Carr and Bordeaux running a bit nose to tail here. Jeremy Siebold, take a look at his lap times here. 2:12.2, 2:08.2 out of Johnson out front. So not close, but Siebold definitely catching Tharp pretty quickly for this 2 spot. Yeah, talk about catching him in a hurry. He is already right on that rear fender of the 415. Little mistake for Tharp, but Siebold not quite able to take advantage just yet. Siebold was rather non-existent in the first moto, but now he rolls over the top of Tharp, and Tharp is stuck under Siebold's bike. He cannot get freed. Finally gets freed. That promotes Seth Carr up into second place now. That also pushed Bordeaux into third momentarily, but then Tharp went back by, and now Siebold coming into the mix as well. Siebold in the first moto was 13th as a reminder, so he is a non-factor for the overall standings today. Seth Carr was 6th, now runs 2nd. Johan Bordeaux is 4th, now runs 3rd. Braden Tharp, though, the first man not to score points in the first moto with a 21st place finish. And a 26-point lead, 26-second lead, I should say, for Braden Carter. Braden Carter. My mind is just a complete jumble. Payson Johnson leads the race. We'll see Braden Carter in the 450 class a little bit later on. But Payson Johnson leads this one, 12 minutes in, and looking oh so comfortable. Find Tomasunis and Nathan Prynn together back here. Looks like Prynn has just about started knocking on the door for a top 10 here. Tomasunis ahead of him is in 11th. Problem for Prynn is as he's taken a little while longer to get to this position, everybody's a little bit more spread out. He's still maybe 5 sections behind second, which is ultimately where I think his goal could lie here if he's trying to salvage points. But there's another mistake. Gets into the back of Tomasunis, pushing a little too hard. Tomasunis will just continue on his merry way. There's Wilcox. And you got like a freight train going up the road here. Kerr is on Alec Horn. I believe this is for 8th spot. Kerr tries the inside. Horn stays to the outside, and nothing doing just yet there. Then you got Sullivan, Wofford, Tharp, Siebold, Bordeaux, and Carr. And Carr, little mistake, just went down and then got dragged by Bordeaux's lag. So Carr went down, and then Siebold tucked the front end in the corner. So Tharp back into third. Carr gets going in fourth. Here comes Wofford. Now from fifth, trying to get into fourth, and he will do so on the 181. So a couple teammates exchanging positions right there as Wofford goes through on teammate Seth Carr, and then Siebold picks it up still in sixth. Can see Wofford kind of stretching it out just slightly there on Carr. And Sullivan has crept up into the picture on Siebold a little bit. So keep an eye out for the number 18 of Luke Sullivan. Just as I say that, though, he gets a little wayward. Oh, man, it's close between the teammates. Seth Carr and Lane Wofford side by side as Siebold jumps into frame around the outside of both of them. And Carr back around Wofford. Now where does Siebold go? Tries to go to the middle rut. Wofford jumps over again. Siebold's just going to try to make a quick pass here, I think. Down the inside and through on Wofford. Now we'll have his sights set on Seth Carr. That'll kind of stagnate it a little bit. I thought Siebold was going to close on Carr quicker, but not quite the case. So Bordeaux running in second, Tharp third, Carr fourth, and Siebold fifth. And a reminder, Bordeaux, he finished up in fourth in that first moto, so he is in line in his first ever NA race in RaceFactory Gaming competition to land on the box and maybe even second place on the podium here with 4-2 scores. Unless Nathan Prynne can start chunking some positions away here. Prynne can get into the top four, then he pushes Bordeaux back onto third on the box. Here's Sullivan up the inside of Wofford. The 18 versus the 181. They're still side by side, and there's contact there. Sullivan scrubbed it hard. Wofford to the left side of the track. Not sure if Sullivan just didn't realize that Wofford was still there or not, but they both go down together. Now Wofford trying to get stood up and stay ahead of Sullivan. He was probably not too thrilled with that decision by Sullivan to scrub it hard. Alex Kerr just skipped some timing gates there. And then Nathan Prynne. So Prynne is now in 10th. The number 42 machine. Gonna get around Kerr right here though to go into 9th. So 1-9 scores on the day right now for Nathan Prynne as he continues to try to gain some points on the rest of the field. Here's Seth Carr and Siebold have caught Tharp for third. Braden Tharp, 4:15, holds on to third. Seth Carr, 3:47, runs fourth right behind him. And Jeremy Siebold on the 9, running in fifth. A little mistake for Tharp. Siebold going to try to split the gap. It's going to be 3 wide. Siebold trying to make a 2-for-1 pass as Carr got around Tharp, but Siebold's going to have the inside coming down this hill. And is going to make that pass stick. Seth Carr switches lines back. And is going to try to go up the inside into this corner. Siebold's going to hold it on around the outside and holds it in third place. Uh-oh, Johan Bordeaux went down. That's actually going to be second for Siebold, but now Siebold goes down. So Bordeaux and Carr now battling for second. Seth Carr finished 6th in the first moto. Bordeaux finished 4th. And now they're battling for second here in 250 moto number 2. Uh-oh, a mistake, though, for Carr. Carr went down. Oh, and he gets up just in time for Sullivan to hit him in the back. And they both go down. So Tharp went by. We got Siebold ahead of them now as well. Wofford just made the move. And Carr is getting going just as Nathan Prynne jumps into picture. So now Prynne can see a lot of that battle he was trying to catch this entire time. Second on the track is 37 seconds. It's Johan Bordeaux. He's 37 seconds behind race leader Payson Johnson. But crucially, I'm trying to keep an eye on where Prynne could get to potentially. And he's only maybe 3 or 4 corners ahead of Prynne. So that's still a possibility as second place if things really go crazy down the last 20 minutes of this moto. As you can see up ahead, Alec Horn and Seth Carr doing battle while Prynne tries to close up and pass both. Carr, a mistake, goes off the track. Prynne up to 8th. Trying to close the gap down on Alec Horn, pushing the envelope on his Phil's KTM. Oh my goodness, how does he even stop for some of these corners? Hitting him just so hard. And a little mistake right there, but just crossed over lines, ended up back in a good one. And pretty much didn't lose hardly any time to Horn. And now might have a pass sized up here as he's got the power down. And boy almighty, does he make it look easy in the end right there. That was incredible. That was not an easy pass at all. Even with the mistake out of Horn. To ride the rear tire like he did down into that canyon, knock over the bars, downside the singles still cleanly, and be able to put the power back down right away, jumping out. An impressive pass moves him into 7th place. And next up will be his teammate, Luke Sullivan, whom he'll try to get for 6th. So Prynne versus Sullivan with Horn still right behind them just in case things get a little wild. Prynne 2:10.5 last time by. Literally nobody in front of him ran that lap, so he's going faster than everybody else ahead of him. Up the inside, turns to the outside here, though. Not quite preferred, but he's still got a great drive. Going to almost be alongside Sullivan. And they have caught up to, is that Seth Carr? No, it's Lane Wofford. So Lane Wofford now just ahead of these guys, and he is in 5th. On the Underground RC number 181, and a reminder that if Prynne gets to 4th in this moto, it will just about guarantee him 2nd overall. Especially with Casey Cochran down the order. Cochran finished up in 3rd in the first moto. Oh, Prynne laying it over just up the inside here of Sullivan. Oh, near contact. It was really close right there. Outside for Prynne, going to get it done on Sullivan up to 6th. Next up, going to try to get Wofford. Look at this inside that he's got right here working too. That's a line that none of these 250 guys were taking last moto. And either from Prynne developing himself or maybe working on it with a couple other riders has made that line viable. Look at this inside line for Prynne on Wofford. Gonna get it done. Disappeared off the corner of our screen to the inside, and easy pickings in the end. So that puts Prynne into 5th, and Sullivan's trying to follow suit with his teammate and get around Wofford as well. Down the inside. And a nice job done there for Sullivan, and Prin goes down. Nathan Prin is down. I can't latch onto him. There we go. All that hard work to get into 5th undone with a small mistake, and he's back to 9th. Prin now behind Seth Carr once again. Alec Horn went through, as did Watford and Sullivan. And then Tharp just ahead of them, as Siebold has now moved into 3rd place. Johan Bordeaux still runs in 2nd, and your race leader, 24 minutes down, 6 minutes and 2 laps still to go, is Payson Johnson, your defending champion on the Covenant number 1. This is going to be his 4th consecutive overall win to start the season. He'll be 4 for 4 in overall wins. It has not been as pretty when it comes to moto wins, but by the end of the day, Johnson has gotten the job done every single time and is on his way to doing it again, which of course means extending his championship lead. Bordeaux all by himself right now for the most part in 2nd, maybe 4-second gap back to Siebold. Then Wofford running in 4th, Alec Horn in 5th, Sullivan 6th, and Prin 7th. So actually Prin is still within striking distance of 4th pretty easily here. Maybe a little too far to still get up into 2nd. But at least if he gets to 4th, he only loses 4 points on the day to Johnson. Right now where he runs, he is losing 8 points, I believe it is. Look at that, landing on the rear tire. Just trying to get any and all power to the ground as he possibly can. It is oh so very tough. Look at this inside move though. Gonna try to get around his teammate Sullivan again, and on top of it, might get Horn and Wofford ahead of him. Sullivan lays it down. Prin is up to 6th. Now he's up to 5th. And he might be up to 4th as well. Look at that move. Nathan Prin into 4th around the outside of Wofford. So a lap after he coughed up 5th in that same corner with a crash, he has moved his way back into 4th and now moves into 2nd overall on the day. Incredible. Incredible stuff out of Prin. Rider down. That is a lapped rider, though. And here is Siebold now dealing with Bordeaux. This is going to be good for Prin's sake because he's about, let's see what the actual official gap is. It's basically 10 seconds, 9 and some change behind Siebold. And if these two get together, they're either going to slow each other down, which could be a good option. But the great option for Prin is they get together and both go down. Obviously, each of their case, they want to get around each other, and Siebold's going to do just that to move into 2nd. A mistake for Bordeaux, and Siebold is by and into the 2 spot. Remember, Siebold 13th in the first moto, pretty much a non-factor for the overall podium, so Bordeaux's 4-3 right now is still good enough for 3rd overall as it runs. But here is Prin still back here, charging, trying everything possible to limit the damage. 3 minutes and some change on the clock plus 2 laps to go to try and just maybe get himself into 2nd and tie Payson Johnson on the day. So in that case, he would only still just be 22 points down instead of what it is right now, which is 26 points down. Shout out to Agris6na in chat, always dropping off donations like it's nobody's business. Another 20 euro donation from Agris. Thank you so much. Every single time you donate, it really makes me so happy to see that you're still here. I know you don't talk in the chat too much, but honestly, I appreciate it every single time. So thanks so much. That's Bordeaux getting up from a crash, and Prin is up to 3rd. Nathan Prin into 3rd place, and pretty much at this point just trying to match Payson Johnson's ridiculous first moto charge to come from outside of the top 30 and get points. Or I should say get 2nd on the first moto. Prin was in 29th when we first saw him. He finished the first lap officially in 22nd. Now he's up to 3rd, and he's still trying to reel in Siebold. That gap, 6.7 seconds. He just went Oh, 3 seconds casually or so faster than Seabolt that last lap by, and he's still pushing the envelope. He wants second place badly. Oh, how does he get that hop into that corner that cleanly? Got her down, but it's a lapped rider. Prin watching this gap come down ever so slightly to Seabolt ahead of him. Sensing an opportunity now with just a minute left to go on the clock before time expires and the 2-lap card comes out. And judging by where Johnson is right now, it is actually 3 to go this time by for Johnson. So currently 4 to go for Prin. And this gap is still just inching down. Seabolt's got to be a little bit wondering how this is happening because Seabolt is absolutely no slouch. The 2020 Moto Option Supercross champion in the game in the 450 class. Won a Supercross race earlier this year on a 450. And my goodness, are you kidding me? How a 209 flat this late into the race? Are you serious, Nathan Prin? What is this? Almost 5 seconds faster than Seabolt last time by, and a gap that was over 10 seconds 2 laps ago is now just 2.1 seconds right now. So the battle for second is about to be on. It's Jeremy Seabolt on the Covenant number 9 versus Nathan Prin on the Phil's KTM. And a quick idea to understand where Johnson is. He is halfway around the track. He's coming down to the Buckley berm right now. These guys aren't even into the 3 or 4 corners before that yet. Seabolt looks like he's kind of responded a little bit to that pressure from Prin. 2-lap board about to go out. Johnson coming into the final corner right now. It is a 40-second lead on Seabolt. And 2-lap board out. So Prin looks like he's either awoken Seabolt finally or made a few mistakes in his own right. Because he caught him so fast, but it stayed at the exact same clip here for the last couple of, well, basically this whole lap. Oh, Prin getting shuffled around a little bit there. Into the final corner. And 212.8 versus a 213 flat. So yeah, only 0.2 gain that last time by. Two to go. I don't know. This is not a foregone conclusion anymore, and now it's definitely falling apart as Prin goes down. Here's Bordeaux side by side with Carr and Sullivan in the mix as well. They're not going to get to Prin, who is picking himself up. And this is going to shuffle some overalls, I think. If Sullivan can get around Bordeaux, it might bump Seth Carr onto the podium. And Carr, interestingly enough, will have not touched the podium all day long. But oh, Sullivan gets into the side of Bordeaux and goes down. So Bordeaux looking at 3.5 for third. Carr looking at 6.4 for fourth as it runs. Seabolt 13.2 would probably put him 6th or so. And Prin's 1.3 is still good enough for second with Johnson's 2.1 out front. Obviously good enough for the overall. Tell you what, we have not talked too much about him this moto, but this is an absolute collapse for Cooper Hunt. And it's a shame to see the number 38 Covenant machine down in 20th still. He has not been able to figure it out this moto. He's a lap down. He's well behind a lot of riders. He's going to move into 18th here, it looks like. But still, this is only going to be 3 points when he needed a lot more. And with Johnson winning, gaining 22 points currently on Hunt, that's a tough one for Hunt to swallow in this one. Not sure what happened either. It just seems like he never got going. Bordeaux and Prin. And Carr is now ahead of Prin. So Seth Carr up to third. Wow. Another change of fortunes here. Seabolt's got second locked down. Seth Carr, Prin, and Bordeaux. So does that move Seth Carr onto the podium 6-3? No, versus a 4-5? Yeah, I guess so, by a point. So Bordeaux has got to get around Prin if he wants to be on the podium here. Otherwise, Seth Carr's got it. Unless Prin runs down and catches Carr, in which case it goes back to Bordeaux by a single point. Prin would desperately like to catch Seth Carr here. I don't think he wants to give up any more points than are needed. Seth Carr got a little kick right there. Prin and Bordeaux. Back out front, though, and see Pace and Johnson. Gap has come down significantly to Seabolt. It's only 15 seconds now. So maybe Johnson was absolutely sending it, or maybe Seabolt wicked up his pace here in the latter stages of this one, but I don't think it was enough to close from 40 to 15 seconds without something happening for Johnson. Either way, though, this is still going to be his 4th overall win on the trot. Perfect in overall wins through the 4th round of the season in 2021, as he looks to defend his 250 national championship from last year before we assume he moves up to 450s in 2022. Clicked off a 250 West Region Championship indoors this year. Did so convincingly as well, wrapping it up around early. And now is well and truly on his way to potentially a 2nd straight outdoor title in this 250 class, joining some rarefied air. But he's done it again, 4 for 4 to start the year. Pace and Johnson brings it through the final corner and wins the Southwick National. 2-1 scores on the day, easily enough to get it done. Jeremy Seabolt, 13th in the first moto. Tried to defend his Southwick 250 overall win from last year, but falls just short. Second in the second moto here, Seth Carr. Might be on the podium, but Bordeaux is trying to steal it back from Prin. Prin is still going to get second overall, even if Bordeaux gets him. But this kicks Bordeaux off the podium unless he gets around Prin. Cuts could still be a factor here, so it's maybe a good idea to just stick as close as possible. But Prin crosses 4th. That's good enough for 2nd overall. And with Bordeaux crossing in 5th, he goes 4-5 for 4th. Seth Carr goes 6-3 for 3rd unofficially. We'll wait for cuts. Lane Wofford ends up 6th. Dylan Cavacuti going to come into the last corner. Frank Jackson going down ahead of him, so Cavacuti ends up in 7th there. Luke Sullivan going to be 8th in this one. Logan Leitzel will be 9th. And Braden Tharp slips on back to 10th. 11th for Neil Fitzpatrick. 12th is Alec Horn. And 13th, charging his way up here late in this one, is Casey Cochran. He's going to fall just short of getting a horn, though, I think. Unless something dramatic happens in this last turn. Looks like Fitzpatrick is good. Tharp already crossed in 10th. Horn going to get 12th, and Cochran 13th. Thomas Wilcox down the hill here in 14th. Tomasunis right behind him. So again, last corner shenanigans. Anything happening? Tomasunis sending it in. Oh, high center's on the rut, trying to get going before... Oh, Hunt goes by for 15th. So Cooper Hunt salvaging some points in this one. Gets Tomasunis at the last-ditch effort there. It's going to be Kerr in 17th. Alex Griffiths gets 18th. 19th for Jonathan Alexander. And 20th was Jack Gatlin as we wait for cuts to be official. But Johnson, your overall winner here today with 2-1 scores. And obviously retains the red plate. There we go. Cuts are officially in. And everything stays as the status quo. Nothing changed there. So Johnson, your winner here at Southwick. Alrighty, back in the studio one final time before we get the final 450 moto of the night underway. How's everybody doing? We still got 187 some odd or so of you guys here. Yeah, Brad Hauk says it'd be cool to see an updated top 10 riders video. I mean, again, I've said this many times, but it's very time consuming to make that video. It probably all in when I first made it was like 40 hours roughly. And there's a lot of community input and stuff like that. I might do one, but it's to the point where it's like, it's kind of ran its tail. I think if anything, I might do one like if and when Sim finally dies. Like it's kind of been going downhill for a little while lately, and we predicted it was going to die for like a decade now, but I think it might be on its last couple of years at this point, and once we get into like 2024 or 2025, I might go around and make an updated top 10 MX Sim Riders video or something like that, but yeah, just a lot of time. Good, Ty, good to see you're doing good. Jamar Rueda, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, says, hi, can I get a shout out? Absolutely. Shout it out. Mark says it'd also be cool for the top 10 sim riders of the year. Not the worst idea. Garrett West. Love you, Kellen. No, I love you, Garrett West. I do. I truly do. Brandon Hanaway says, you excited for the GPs this weekend? Hell yeah, I am. Matterley Bays in round 2. Be waking up early to watch that and some F1 in Austria. Really excited to have some more of that racing back this weekend. ALR MVFX says just bought a desk and it has a carbon fiber table. Didn't even know it came with it. That's pretty cool. Carbon fiber table. Layden McCrae says, let's go. Payson Johnson wins. Absolutely. I'll be calling the MX Bikes races in 2024. I mean, yeah, ideally I would like to start calling some MX Bikes races soon. Yeah, it's still just a little bit tough, I feel like, to actually call some things in that game. Me too, Brad Hoke. Me too. All right, 250 overalls. Johnson 2-1, 4 in a row. Yeah, Prin 1-4, Car 6-3. That's really cool. Predictions for Austrian GP. I just hope chaos. I hope we see another race like we saw in France. That was really cool strategic-wise. Maybe rain comes into play. I just kind of got sick of the Mercedes domination of the last 8 years, so I just like where the series is at right now. Try to get the moto timer. Boom. All right, here we go. Final moto of the night, ready to drop the gate here at Southwick. Can Leclerc come back and win this one, or will we see a fresh face on the top of the podium? It's time to drop the gate here in Massachusetts. Hambrook, not a good start. We're on board with him. Leclerc to the corner first, but it's Cohenauer again. Jeremy Cohenauer, Studio 8 Whole Shot Award for the second time in a row. And a lot of the same faces as the first moto up front. Cohenauer, Leclerc, Caleb Hall. I think that's Rockefeller on the 800. Couple riders going down in the background. We'll have to see who is there, but it's Leclerc already to the lead. Oh, Hall trying to get up the inside of him. Collects Cohenauer, and a couple riders go down back there. So Leclerc's got quite a bit of breathing room already. Caden Speck moves into second. Hubbard third. Fjellberg fourth. Trent Adams outside in fifth. Tyler Lang up the inside, going to go into fifth and maybe even fourth around Fjellberg. Remember, Lang straight up caught and passed Leclerc for the lead in the first moto. It's very, very rare to see that. We'll see if it happens again as he punts Fjellberg off the track to move into fourth. And Fjellberg had to come to a complete stop to get it turned around there. Yeah, Racer Ad, I'll be booling in DC. Me and Nate Guy were for Russia 2 weeks ago. Final question I'll answer. Some side-by-side announcing with Weege again in the future. Again, I'd love to. What it honestly comes down to, and the reason it worked that he was able to announce Houston 1 earlier this year, was if he's in town. He was in town for a KTM intro, came straight from that and to my house to do the Houston 1 broadcast. Obviously, I work with him, so we probably would have met up anyway, but he wanted to come and do the sim thing. And I said, you're always welcome back anytime. And he's like, yeah, if I'm in town again and it's happening. The problem is he's usually not in town in California on like a Wednesday. You know, if this was a Friday race and right before Paula or something like that, I could totally see Weege coming back. But otherwise, nah. All right, so Leclerc already a sizable lead after one lap. Caden Speck settles into second. Lang is up to third already. And this is going to be quite something if Lang on raw pace alone once again catches and passes Leclerc. But this time he'd be doing it from 6.1 seconds back. He's not right on him like he was in the first moto. So there he goes, trying to make the pass on Speck. Speck trying to fight back. But Speck dumps the front wheel into the corner and Lang goes by. So once again, championship rivals 1 and 2 in the race here at Southwick. Script is flipped a little bit this time though. Lang doing the chasing from further back, and Leclerc going to try to match that pace this moto that he could not do in the first one. Gap is stagnated here at about 6.2, 6.3 seconds or so. Oh, Leclerc went down! Lang to the lead! Leclerc down 2 corners before the Buckley berm. Speck goes by, Hubbard through. To the outside comes Eagland as well. And this is a good turnaround ride for Eagland. Remember, Eagland finished 7th in the first moto, but he came from way far back. And to see Leclerc down early and be right in front of him is huge. And all these guys have an individual reason why they want to finish ahead of Leclerc. So they are not going to make it easy for the defending champion. Through the rollers, Caden Speck. Hubbard and Leclerc up the inside, trying to get the move on Hubbard done. Gets the power down on that Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. And shuts the door on Hubbard to move back into third. You got Eagland jumping down the hill behind these guys. I thought he'd be a little bit more of a factor with Leclerc here in this little group, but he has not been so far. See if he can't maybe have a pass done on Hubbard quickly to get back up with Leclerc and not let him get away. Leclerc already trying to work on Caden's back, and now he goes down again. Leclerc down again out of third. Hubbard goes back by. Eaglin goes through. And Magnetti also went by, and then Leclerc gets hit by Caleb Hall coming in. And oh boy, this is going to be huge. He's now further down the field than he's been all day long as he gets going now in, what is this, 13th? Yes, 13th, just ahead of Chase Donovan. Wow, oh wow, that is big news right there. 13th, another mistake. Things coming unglued. So he's down in P13, and there's a group of riders just ahead of him. So going through in that entire chaos, we already saw Magnetti was by. Spec just went down. So it's Lang leading from Eagland, Hubbard, Magnetti. Spec gets up still in 5th, Matherly 6th, 7th for Fjellberg, 8th is Holm, 9th is Carter, 10th Noah Bindis just went down, so 10th is now going to be Austin Bear, 11th for Caleb Hall, and Leclerc is now 12th. Scrubbing over that single is Leclerc. Trying to close up on Caleb Hall, whom was the rider that hit Leclerc while Leclerc was trying to get going. I'm not sure if Leclerc kind of taking one little dart back forward when he was trying to get going again was enough that Caleb Hall couldn't see him or know that Leclerc was going to jump out in front of him like that. Either way, it did seem like Hall would have known Leclerc was there and gone wider. Now Leclerc back up into 11th, trying to close up on Austin Bear. And you got Carter and Holm exchanging positions up ahead. These two guys both very fast on this track tonight, trying to go forward. It looks like Fjellberg just got around Matherly. Carter's trying to get all around the number 100 machine as well. Matherly off the side of the track. Holm going to try to get down the inside. Over the bars goes Adam Holm. And as he rolls to the bottom of the hill, here comes Leclerc, trying to get up the inside of Austin Bear, and Leclerc is going to go up into 9th. So you got Fjellberg, Carter, Matherly, somewhat nose to tail. And off the track goes Carter, so here comes Matherly trying to get back by. Lays it over. Oh, dualies. You don't get much dualies on Southwick. There's not really many jumps to hit. But always love a good dualies on that floater table. That jump is so fun to hit. Carter trying to fight back on Matherly. Get his nose in there and try to offset the number 100 machine. Oh, Carter launching a little bit longer. Matherly closing up on Fjellberg, though. They're going to go almost 3 wide through 3 different ruts. And look at Matherly to the outside of Dennis Fjellberg on the 3. See if he makes this work. Wow, Cade Matherly. Look at this kid go. Dualies with Fjellberg scrubbing on the table at the top of the hill. They're going to go almost side by side over the finish line jump. Kind of dualies again. And Matherly makes the pass on the veteran out of Norway. What a move. Now Carter's going to try to take advantage of all this chaos and go around the 100 if he can. Oh, laying it over. Epic battle for 6th right now. Carter just not quite able to get a nose in there yet, and Matherly streaks ahead. Hopping down the hill to the outside. Inside goes Carter. Gets that inside a little smoother again and is just so close to trying to get Up the inside as down goes Caden Speck, and Matherly goes down as well. So Carter gets a 2-for-1, goes into, I believe that's now 5th as Speck gets going. There goes Leclerc. There's Fjellberg. And Matherly gets the ship righted as Caleb Hall comes into view with Adam Holm behind that. There is Speck on the 75. He just went down, so Carter jumps to 5th. Still ahead of him is Luke Magnetti, who's 4th now, was 4th in Moto 1. Hubbard runs in 3rd. Hubbard was 6th in the first moto, and then, of course, Eaglin was 7th. Now they run 3rd and 2nd, respectively, with Lang a 9-second advantage now out to just over 10 seconds, rather. Lang, Eaglin, Magnetti, Hubbard, Carter, Speck, Leclerc. Your top 7 right now. Leclerc going to try to go to work on Caden Speck here for 6th. And drop back down into this little gully, carrying so much speed and momentum. Rider down, I think, or I heard a bike sitting at idle, so maybe lapped rider sitting off the track or something like that. Ooh, that is Hubbard getting up from a crash, and Speck hits him, and somehow Leclerc misses all of that. Hubbard is still down on the backside of this jump. Cade Matherly's going to come over the top and see both of these guys down. And he's going to pass Hubbard as well, end up between the two Phil's KTM riders. So Leclerc benefiting from another couple of mistakes. That's going to move him into 5th, I should say, as Carter's now 4th. Leclerc is 5th. 12 minutes into this one, so 18 minutes or so, plus 2 laps to go. Keeping an eye on lap times here for just a second. Let's see what everything's at. 207.6 for Leclerc, 209.2 for Carter, 211.5 last time by for Magnetti, but he's also in the 209.2 range on occasion. Eaglin has laid down a 206.7, but a 210.3 last time by for him, and a 207.2 for Lang out front. He was in the 205s at one point, but Leclerc, along with Lang, the two fastest riders on the track last time by, both in the 207s. And these 5 riders out front have all separated from everybody else. It's going to be interesting to see if Leclerc can weave his way up into 2nd again, or one of these guys is going to play a little bit of a spoiler. 206.9, 206.3 out of Carter, 207.7, Eaglin 207.6. So everybody 207, 206. Carter fastest rider on the track last time by. Speck 218.1, 211.1 out of Matherly, 228.8 Hubbard. Fjellberg 212.1, and Bendis 213.4. Got Hall right behind him. How about this battle right now? They got Holm, Bear, Janis, Bendis, and Hall. 5 riders mixed together, battling for 10th. Hall up the inside is going to go into 10th around Noah Bendis. Bendis goes down, brought Holm with him. Bear goes by, Janis goes by, Holm gets going. He was not able, or he did not fall off the bike, but he was stuck there behind Bendis for a second. Another rider just went down up the hill here, I think, or... yeah, Austin Bear at the top of the hill. Then you got Braden Castellaneta, Sean Hambrook, Chase Donovan, Trent Adams, Jack Haley laying it over. Haley looking for yet another top 10. Finished 10th in the first moto, and then, ooh, that was a mistake there for Trent Adams. So Haley going to close right up on the 44 here. As we creep up on the halfway point of this moto, Haley going to get down the inside and make a nice pass there on Trent Adams. Then you got Reed Young, Casey Oler, Dylan Smith. All these guys outside of points right now, though. So Reed Young occupying the final points paying position. Jack Haley's 18th there. It seems like Carter is catching Magnetti more than Leclerc is catching Carter at this rate. Trying to find ourselves a battle. Holm and Bindis still together. But Holm looks like he just got around Bindis, so that might be the end of that battle. Castaneda trying to get around Bindis, perhaps. It's a sick helmet Castaneda's got on. Like, I feel like it doesn't go with the gear. I get that there's like some kind of turquoise-ish blue on the gear, but that helmet, especially with the goggles and that kind of glow on it, I feel like to me that needs like some purple gear to go with it or something like that to really finish an epic look right there. Up the inside, Castaneda around Noah Bindis. Whew, update from chat. Braden Carter, 2:05.3, fastest rider on the track last time by. And can't imagine it's going to be long before... Oh, actually, Leclerc has gone around him. So Carter just went down then, did a 2:05.3 and immediately crashed. And now we got a battle for fourth on our hands. Carter has been faster than Leclerc most of today. But we haven't really seen them together much, except for Carter being ahead of him in this moto so far. So this is going to be interesting to see whether or not Carter's raw pace on this track pays dividends or nope. There goes right there. Immediately Carter down as soon as we start watching this battle. And Leclerc up to fourth. See the gap back to Magnetti is about 10 seconds down, or did Magnetti just go down? No, Eaglin just went down. Excuse me. Eaglin down out of second. Magnetti up to the 2 right. Eaglin gets going, but Leclerc has got a full head of steam out of that corner. And he is going to close up very quickly here. So Leclerc coming down through this section. I'm not saying the helmet needs to match. I'm just saying with that particular purple and kind of turquoise setup, I feel like it sticks out a little bit too much compared to just black and white. Like, personally speaking, when someone wears a Red Bull helmet, it's got all that blue and red and silver and some, you know, flakes of yellow, but usually looks kind of chromatic, and then someone wears like all black gear with it or all white gear, it looks ugly to me, in my opinion. Like, there's some stuff that Fox has had on Kenny this year that I didn't particularly like with the Red Bull helmet. Just saying. So Leclerc trying to work on Eagland for the 3 spot. And again, just some damage control. Rider down. That is Devin Davis going a lap down right there. Tough moto for Devin Davis. But he came in here earlier, donated $5 and said doesn't like the sand as much, but still supporting the stream. So appreciate that, Devin. So coming into this was a 16-point gap Leclerc had on Lang. After the first moto, it was down to 13. And as we run with Leclerc in 4th currently, he's losing 7 more points, so it's down to 6 as we run. This pass could flip it back to an 8-point lead for Leclerc if he gets around Eaglin, but Eaglin's certainly making him work for it. There is no question about that. Aside from that crash, this has been a much better moto for Colby Eagland than the first one, coming through the field, ending up 7th. Much nicer to start out front, though there is a bit of a A disappointment factor, though. I don't know these guys ever really feel it. I did, though. Whenever I'd start up front, get like a second or third place started, even if I finished fifth, I was still kind of like, man, I could have finished third because I started there. But in Eaglin's case, he's just happy to be up here, I think. Is Leclerc up the inside. Goes around Eaglin and into third. So now we're looking at provisionally an 8-point lead in the championship for the number 1, as he will work on trying to catch Luke Magnetti. 20 minutes in, 10 minutes plus a lap to go. Tyler Lang is your race leader, and let's give one top 20 rundown to end it here today. This one is brought to you by R Jerky. Once again, head over to eatrjerky.com. Eat, that's EATRJERKY.com. Use the code SYS20 for 20% off your order. People, why are you not using that code? It's like free money. That beef jerky is quality stuff. You get 20% off your order. And let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite flavor is. It's good stuff. I've enjoyed it a lot. So Tyler Lang leads the way here on the number 14 Underground RC machine from Luke Magnetti. The BPC number 30, Leclerc in third now. Rockstar Energy Husqvarna number 1. Fourth for Colby Eagland on the Covenant number 24. Fifth is the number 11 of Jacob Hubbard on that Phil's KTM. Sixth is Braden Carter, the number 19 machine on that Phil's KTM as well. It's 7th for Dennis Fjellberg on the number 3 Phil's KTM. 8th is Matthias Janis, Underground RC number 130. 9th for Caden Speck on the Phil's KTM number 75. And 10th, Cade Matherly on the number 100 Stance Kawasaki. 11th for Jack Haley on the Jack Daniels Racing number 2. 12th for Austin Bear on the Yogi Designs number 944. 13th for Braden Castellaneta on the Underground RC number 63. 14th, I think this is, for Sean Hambrook on the District Designs machine. Don't have his skin, so don't know what number he's running. He's running 976 is Sean Hambrook. 15th for Noah Bindis on the Temecula Motorsports number 153. 16th for Caleb Hall on the number 561 Underground RC Cowie. 17th for Adam Holm on the number 17 atom.com Kawasaki. 18th for Trent Adams, his teammate, on that atom.com. Number 44, 19th for Reed Youngs on the Tegrity number 37. And 20th, rounding out the points paying positions, is Dylan Smith, Jack Daniels Racing number 732. Whoa, what just happened here? Chaos galore. Caleb Hall, Noah Bindis, Braden Castellaneta, Adam Holm, and Trent Adams nose to tail. I think Castellaneta must have just went down because he was ahead of this group by a lot. Now ends up stuck in the middle of it as Holm crossing lines with Bindis. Whoa, who just went off track back there? Adams got kicked sideways, I guess. So now Holm trying to catch Castellaneta. Castellaneta trying to catch Caleb Hall. I think that is just up the road. Look at this. Castellaneta might have a line up the inside of the 561. Jumping off the top here over the finish line jump. Nothing really doing it just yet. Couple Underground RC teammates versus the atom.com effort of Adam Holm back there. Castellaneta up the inside trying to make the move. Holm's going to try to double him up. Definitely gets Castellaneta. Might get Hall too, and he does. Wow, Adam Holm hooked up and found a line up the inside through that first turn complex, and he is able to get around both of those guys. That was quite remarkable by the number 17. Next up, Sean Hambrook for him. Jack Haley trying to get this two-stroke into the top 10 twice here today. He's 11th now, 10th in the first moto. Trying to catch Caden Speck ahead of him. And his lap times are pretty solid for having to ride a two-stroke in the sand. Uh-oh, Cade Matherly just went down. And he was dealing with lap traffic, so Haley is going to go into 10th. Matherly gets going just as more lap traffic. That's the 221 Underground RC effort right there on the side, trying to stay out of the way. And then Austin Bear comes through, so Haley up to 10th. Speck is now 9th. Janis still 8th, right behind Fjellberg in 7th. Carter now 6th. Hubbard is 5th. Eaglin 4th, right behind Leclerc in 3rd. Magnetti 2nd and Lang out front. So battle for 3rd going on right now between Leclerc and Eaglin. Eaglin trying to fight back here. Not letting the defending champ go. And a mistake for Leclerc, but Eaglin ends up way out here, and this line just lost him a lot of ground right there. You can hear Leclerc coming out of the inside of that corner, lugging the bike too. Lap traffic. Atom.com machine. Is that Jeffrey Bruns trying to get out of the way? Leclerc, another small mistake. Eaglin had to check up to not hit the number one. It looks like Bruns on the 333 was moving aside there. Nicely done. Does Eaglin have... Oh, inside here. Oh, how did he get that line that clean? Leclerc scrubbing it so hard to stay ahead of the 24, but Eaglin putting all kinds of pressure on him. And they're catching Magnetti. Magnetti must have gone down because the gap is shrunk quite a bit as the 52 jumps over top onto the track and then takes Colby Eaglin down. I'm going to take a rough stab and say that's Gunnar Fugler. Yes, Gunnar Fugler doing Fugler things. Allows Eaglin through now, but damage has been done. Eaglin has lost touch with Leclerc ahead of him. But yeah, Magnetti is not that far ahead of Leclerc anymore, so something changed. Magnetti was 13 some odd seconds ahead of Leclerc. It's down to just 5. And have to imagine there was a crash of some kind involved there. Eaglin now back after it here in 4th. 3.6 seconds behind Leclerc instead of right on him like he was. Making a couple mistakes. He's got someone right behind him. It's Jack Daniels Racing Rider 132? No, 732, excuse me. No, is it 143 of Cole Gress? Is that... I think Cole Gress is out of this race, so... Did they just lap... who's in 20th? I forget his name already. Dylan Smith? I think that might be Dylan Smith. Eaglin just trying to hit his own marks, but Dylan Smith lapped down, putting some pressure on Colby Eaglin. Uh-oh, Magnetti just was down! Magnetti down out of the 2 spot. Goes back to 3rd, right in front of Eaglin here. And Leclerc is up into 2nd, so damage control galore. Only going to lose 6 points on the day. Looking at a 10-point advantage in the championship on Lang leaving here. But Lang crucially going to go 1-1. If it stays as is, Leclerc going to go 2-2. Here we go. Dualies. Eaglin up the inside of Magnetti. Pushes the BPC Yamaha back to 4th, perhaps? No. Magnetti fights back on the outside and holds the position. Time running out here. Just over 2 minutes, and Leclerc was down. So this has turned into a battle for 2nd. They're 45 seconds behind Lang, but it's a battle for 2nd nonetheless. And Leclerc, just as quickly as he gets into 2nd, has to go right back to work. A mistake right before Buckley Byrne put him off the side of the track, and you see him coming in the background there. And Magnetti has now gotten away from Eaglin just a little bit here. So again, this adds 4 more points to that swing if it stays like this, and it's only a 6-point advantage in the championship then for Leclerc leaving this one. Eaglin just trying to keep Magnetti honest here at this point. And great ride for Magnetti as he picked the bike back up, had Eaglin hot on his heels. Eaglin showed him a wheel 2 or 3 times at this point, and Magnetti has just downright responded to that pressure, has not let it waver him whatsoever. Under a minute to go here. 450 moto number 2 at Southwick. Crunch time for 2nd place in this moto. Tyler Lang is off and away with a potential race win here. Here's Eaglin back up the inside. Magnetti trying to fight hard to the inside here. There's still going to be bar to bar coming down the hill, but Eaglin shuts the door. Now he goes nose high into the corner, and he's going to have to get it settled down to the inside. Magnetti round the outside. Charges hard. Gonna have the inside here. This line has worked great. Oh, man. Around the outside, Eagland was on rails there. Moves back up into second. And Leclerc is lurking there in the background. So I want to check and see if Lang... Oh, Lang down with the race lead. And as such, two-lap board is going to come out next time by. He did not make it to the flag before time expired. And time has now expired. Lang, two-lap board next time by. .30-minute plus two-lap race. Battle for second. Hot and heavy. Eagland, Magnetti, Leclerc, nose to tail. The defending champion got into second place and then crashed a lap ago. Four different manufacturers represented up in the top four right here. Five actually in the top five, because you got Hubbard on a KTM in fifth, Leclerc on a Husqvarna in fourth, Magnetti on a Yamaha in third, Eagland on a Honda in second, and then Lang out front on a Cowie is leading. So the only kind of the main manufacturers not represented up front right now is Gas and Suzuki. Oh, Leclerc! Oh my goodness, what a save! Was showing us the right side of his number plate coming down the hill right there. But somehow pulled that Husqvarna back underneath of him. And this battle continues still. Eagland, Magnetti, a mistake, and Leclerc behind a third. Magnetti, it was just one small bobble, and it was enough to cost him the third position. So Leclerc back by, changes the provisional points lead to Lang up to 8. It's going to be a big shot in the arm of confidence for Lang, though, who faltered earlier this week in Assen when he had an opportunity to maybe take some points away from Leclerc. It just didn't quite work out in his favor. And Leclerc instead extended his championship lead in the World Championship. But here in the national scene for the U.S. Nationals, Lang is going to chunk some points back on Leclerc. Go 1-1 on the day as the white flag is about to come out here at Southwick. Lang is, I think, in the penultimate corner right now. Well, actually, you know what? This has tightened up a lot. 11.4 second lead for Lang. He is not that far ahead of this group anymore. And it just takes one more crash as Leclerc over the bars. Magnetti has to jump out of the rut to avoid him. Kind of gets sideways and hits him. But Leclerc back to fourth again. But, yeah, talking about Lang coming to get the white flag right now, I mean, he's not that far gone anymore. You see the white flag waving there? And any second now we should see Colby Eagland. So there you go. There's the gap right there. Lap rider going down right in front of Eagland, but able to avoid him. And now Magnetti going to try to hold on. Uh-oh, here comes Hubbard trying to claw some more points away from Leclerc. This is only going to be a 1-point swing, though, I believe. From 4th to 5th. No, actually, Leclerc getting 18 points, so if he loses this spot, it's 2 more points lost. And right now, it's a 6-point provisional advantage for Lang, but if Hubbard gets by, it's down to just 4. And Leclerc would lose 12 points on the day to Lang. Hubbard going to try to go for it on the defending champ here on this last lap to make this move. And obviously not for the sake of Lang, but just for the actual proposition of passing his way into 4th on merit. Up the road, Magnetti, Eagland, and Lang. Lang looks like he has buttoned it down a little bit, kind of gotten back into cruise control. He's still working through some lap traffic, though. But here on this last lap of the race, he's got about 6 more corners to go before he is claimed a 1-1 score here today at Southwick. Apparently we got someone cutting the track, taking out Adam Holm as he just crosses the finish line jump here. It's kind of interesting. Usually this server's set up so you go invis if you skip too many timing gates. So I wonder who is Doing that to Adam Holm, as he is going to go up into 10th, actually, around Caden Speck. Meanwhile, final corner coming up, and what a day playing in the sand for Tyler Lang. It's a 1-1 performance as Tyler Lang wins the Southwick National in MX Simulator. Colby Eagland charges into the final corner to get second. Eagland going to go 7-2 on the day. We'll have to see where overall stack up. Magnetti is going to be third in this one. 4-3 for Magnetti. Hubbard did get around Leclerc, so Leclerc has lost more positions, and he's in danger of losing another one perhaps to Fjellberg. 4-3 is going to put Magnetti ahead of Leclerc, who's going to go 2-5 as Hubbard crosses the line fourth. And Leclerc going to look at just a 4-point narrow advantage in this championship now, as we take a break next week, but we'll be back the week after that for Redbud on July 7th, and it's just 4 points in it now at the front of this 450 championship as Leclerc goes 2-5 for third overall on the day. Carter crosses the line sixth. Fjellberg follows him home right behind in seventh. Tyus Janis going to be eighth in this one. Jack Haley, ninth, 10-9 on the day for the two-stroke. And Holm, dealing with the problems with someone cutting the track to take him out and all, is going to get 10th in this moto. It was looking a little rough there for a while. It's still not the ideal position for Holm, but 310 is still pretty good points on the day for the 17. So bring it through the final corner. Cade Matherly, great ride for the 100 all day long. 13th in the first moto, going to end up 11th here in the second one. Caden Speck looking at getting 12th in this one. Did not finish the first moto, did Speck. So 12th going to be the total points that he gets today, 9 points. Austin Bear going to bring it down in 13th. Remember, he was 3/100ths of a second off of scoring points in the first moto, so that 13th is going to feel really rewarding there. Reed Young is going to bring it down here. He didn't score he finished 18th in the first moto. He will get 14th here in this one. 15th for Caleb Hall, 16th Castaneda, 17th Hambrook, 18th Cohenauer, 19th Bendis, and 20th Christensen. Anybody get cuts? Anybody at all? No. Tyler Lang, your winner here today at the Southwick National. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kellen Brower here in the studio one last time, getting ready to sign off for the night. Tyler Lang and Payson Johnson, your winners here at Southwick. A great night of racing, a lot of fun here in the sands of Massachusetts. So glad to have all of you guys join us as well. Glad to just be back streaming every week, double the streams as we do the GPs and the Nationals. Want to, of course, give one final shout out to rjerky and atom.com, and of course RaceFactory Gaming for putting all these races on, and everybody that's involved with the series over there. Thanks so much for that. Thanks to every single one of you for tuning in tonight. Thanks for the donations from Devin Davis and Agris Sixna, and we look forward to seeing you guys not next week, but the week after that. We'll be back on July 5th, the week after Independence Day, for the Italian Grand Prix, and then Redbud a little bit later that week on July 7th. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys then, but appreciate you guys stopping by and watching round 4 of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming Nationals here from Southwick. Bye-bye for now, and we'll see you guys in Italy.